At this level, talent and athleticism are a given. Teams search for instinct, a playmaker, and it doesn't matter if you're a former first-round pick, or a second-rounder that bounced around the league, or a third-round rookie trying to seize an opportunity, or an undrafted free agent just hoping to catch on. You have to make big plays on the field. Tonight's game is a final chance to make that play, to move your name on the roster, a chance to realize a dream. It's Redskins-Ravens, with everything on the line.
It's the Ravens and the Washington Redskins. It is not a battle of the Beltways tonight. It's a battle of numbers. After tonight, both teams have to cut down their roster from 90 to 53, and they will do it in this final preseason game tonight. Good evening and welcome to M&T Bank Stadium. Jerry Sandusky with you, along with the coach, Brian Billick. Brian, we've already heard that RG3 will not play tonight. Lamar Jackson gets the start. Is it Jackson's performance that dictates now whether the Ravens keep 2 or 3 quarterbacks?
Well, you get the feeling that decision's already been made. The fact that RG3's not going to play maybe is an indicator that that's the direction they want to go. They want to give Jackson a start, let him go the entire first half, which he hasn't done to this point. So that's a positive, but I think it's a pretty strong indicator they're going to keep 3 quarterbacks.
Potential availabilities of wide receiver and punt returner. Is it a package deal? Can one guy take both jobs and make life a little easier for us?
Well, it kind of needs to be. You could see them keeping just 4 wide receivers because you don't want to let that good depth at DB or defensive line. You don't want to let someone walk out of the building that can help this football team. So the 5th guy, if it's a wide receiver, in this case, whether it's Grant or White, clearly has to be an impact because of special teams. Yes, they can both play receivers. White probably has the advantage from that standpoint, but I think Grant maybe has the edge in terms of the way he's returned the ball.
The pending suspension of veteran cornerback Jimmy Smith will impact the construction of the Ravens roster. When we come back, we'll check in with our partner Evan Washburn for the impact on the 53 Jimmy Smith will have.
I've been able to help him see the game at a more advanced rate. And I think our room is great for him too. Joe's done it a certain way his entire career. I've done it about every which way and been in a lot of different situations. So it's a great room for him to grow and learn. And he's taken to that too. You know, to his credit, he's taken and he took the earmuffs off and he's listening and letting all that stuff get to him so he can learn things a lot faster. But he's a great kid. I think he's going to play great when his time comes. And if I can help him continue to get ready, that's, you know, something that I've already put on my plate of not just help the Ravens, not just help Joe, but help Lamar get better and get better as fast as possible.
So Joe Flacco, RG3 will be watching, and they'll be watching the rookie, Lamar Jackson, tonight. We head down to the field and check in with the 3rd member of our broadcast team, Evan Washburn. Evan, this season starts with Jimmy Smith under suspension. How does that impact the way the Ravens put together their 53?
Yeah, Jerry, as we know, every move, every decision, every suspension has an effect on the numbers. Now, name-wise, I think the name to keep in mind would be Stanley John Baptiste. He's a former 2nd-round pick that would have been on the fringe of the roster, but he seems to be cemented by the fact that they'll be without Jimmy Smith for the first 4 games. But he'll be in this game, and he'll need to make some plays to just make that decision a bit easier. But I also think it's important, guys, to keep in mind as we keep harping on this 3-quarterback decision, it's going to have effect in other position groups, and where to sort of focus your attention in that regard would be the wide receivers, which we talked about a lot, but also offensive and defensive line. If they go 3 deep at quarterback, they might have to subtract 1 from that group, fellas.
All righty, so one of the storylines John Harbaugh has been watching throughout the summer camp, a long summer camp, Brian, 5 preseason games. This is one of those times as a head coach, I think you have seen everything you need to see from every player on the 90-man roster.
You did. They had the extra camp. They had the extra game, I should say. They had the 2 scrimmages, 2 days each, with both the Colts and the Rams. So they've had plenty of opportunity to make those decisions. We saw in the pregame, John Harbaugh said, yeah, you kind of have an idea going in what the 53 is. You change your mind here and there. You think it's going to get altered. And ultimately you end up back where you started. And you have, yeah, this is the 53 we thought. But there's still some battles tonight that are going to solidify that, not the least of which is in the return game, as we talked about earlier.
So a beautifully warm night as the sun sets, and hopefully the heat disappears with the sunshine as we settle in to watch Lamar Jackson make his first start. The Ravens have won the opening coin toss Tim White will return the kick. The Ravens, unlike in the regular season, want to get the ball on their offense as soon as possible to get a long look at Lamar Jackson. So they win the coin toss. They'll have the ball first. Tressway kicking it off for the Redskins. And while this may not have the drama from a viewer's perspective, a fan's perspective of a playoff game, this is a playoff game for every player on the bubble tonight. And that includes Tim White, who takes the ball out of the end zone. Across the 10. Patiently awaiting an alley, doesn't find one, and he stops shy of the 20-yard line. And that brings Lamar Jackson onto the field for his first start, the next step in his evolution. Brian, you thought last week he really took some big strides.
He did. It was in the short passing game that I like to see what he did in terms of giving the ball carriers a chance to catch the ball and run. He was very accurate in the short game. That may sound odd because you're talking about, well, you need to be able to throw the ball deep. But to give the receivers underneath, whether it be a tight end, a running back, or a wide receiver, a chance to catch, turn, face up the defender, and run is important, and he did that last week.
Jackson on first down, slings it complete to his tight end, Mark Andrews, and Andrews barrels along the sideline out to the 30-yard line. That'll be good for a first down before DeShazer Elliott can force him out of bounds. So Andrew gets picked in the 3rd round. We had a chance to visit with him this week. Said he had no idea whatsoever the Ravens would take him after going to Hayden Hurst in the 1st round.
Yeah, and again, that very rarely happens, but the coaches are excited about this young man. He's got a learning curve here. They say he's an outstanding route runner. He's going to be even better when he really learns what he's doing.
Kenneth Dixon will get the carry, looking to run it off left tackle, and he'll lose a yard or two on the play. As we go back to Mark Andrews, played his college ball at Oklahoma. He was a teammate of Orlando Brown Jr., and he is a very big kid. Mackey Award winner, type 1 diabetic. He has to wear an insulin pump, so that's one wrinkle that a rookie doesn't usually bring into the NFL. His father and brother both doctors, so he's already kind of underachieving in terms of the professional. You better win a couple Super Bowl, kids.
Well, let's compare the paychecks, and we'll decide how we're going to rank this. But I think the Ravens would love to be in a lot of 2 tight end offense, 12 personnel as it's known, with both Hurst and Andrews in the lineup.
On 2nd down, Lamar Jackson escapes. Flag is down. Jackson is down as he is corkscrewed at the 38-yard line.
Yeah, here we'll see who this is against.
Illegal use of hands, hands to the face, offense number 71. 10-yard penalty, replay 2nd down.
Jermaine Illuminor, one of the offensive linemen, a rookie draft pick a year ago on the bubble this year, so off to a shaky start.
Yeah, it's at the top of the screen here. You're going to see, he said the upside rush, a dip underneath. I don't know. That the regular season, I'm not sure that gets called. I mean, the guy dipped underneath. He had his hands. He didn't get a hold of him, but that's tough. That's why it's so tough playing tackle against those edge rushers with wide rushes, because there's a lot of different things they can do to you, and it's hard to get your hands placed.
Puts Lamar Jackson into a 2nd and 22. Inside handoff. Lance Turner with a nice run. Across the 40-yard line, heading out to midfield. He'll step out of bounds just shy of the midfield stripe. A week ago, a 65-yard touchdown. He answers that with 29 yards on the ground tonight.
Yeah, watch his feet here. Just, he's going to be on the left side here, and it's just a simple draw. But he gets the ball, and look at the feet, the side step, the lateral step right there, and then watch the explosion. We saw that with the speed with that touchdown run against Miami. Very impressive combination of size, quick feet, and speed.
Picks up the first down. On the spot at the Ravens 47. Opening drive. And Lamar Jackson off the play fake. Has to bail from the pocket. He'll tuck and run. And Jackson down the sideline will pick up another first down for the Ravens. Brian, what are the keys for the offense tonight for this Ravens team?
Well, the top one's the same one we keep talking about, particularly with Lamar Jackson starting. When you look at the priorities for this game, obviously you want to get through healthy. But it's about continuing development of Lamar Jackson's, building on what we talked about last week with the accurate underneath game. Got to identify that 5th and 6th receivers, whether it's with special teams or in the receiving corps, and the depth on the offensive line. That's the one area where depth has got to be a real concern for the Ravens.
There's really only solid 6 players deep on that offensive line. They'd love to have 7 or 8 that they feel comfortable with. Dixon trying to pick his way through some traffic. Will get out to down to the 40-yard line, picks up about 3. 2nd down and 7.
What's fun tonight with Lamar Jackson starting, notwithstanding without a whole lot of starters, we're going to get a little bit of a glimpse in an extended way of what Marty Morningwig would do with Lamar Jackson as his quarterback. Not the entire package, I get that, but whether it's the read option and or him by design getting outside the pocket, we might get a bit of a tell as to what it would be like if Lamar Jackson needed to start a game.
Marty Morningwig will spread it out. 5 receivers, empty backfield. Redskins bring the blitz. Jackson throws. It is caught by his rookie tight end Mark Andrews for a gain of about 3 down to the 36. We touched on Mark Andrews being an excellent pass catcher at Oklahoma. When we visited with him this week, he said he really was never called on to block at Oklahoma. But here with the Ravens, he's had to pick up blocking in a hurry. That is a big skill to have to learn when all of a sudden the guys you're blocking are named Terrell Suggs.
But he's a good athlete, and he'll learn. You know, I had Shannon Sharp and obviously Todd Heap. These are guys that were known as receiving tight ends, but they learn to be very effective position blockers. And that means you're not going to overpower people, but they're going to do their job in the running game. And I think Andrews is going to do the same.
On 3rd down, Ken Dixon with an extra effort is going to be taken down shy of the 33-yard line where he had to go for the 1st down. And now the Ravens looking at a 4th down and about 1.5 yards. They will go for it.
Yeah, and this is one of those, if it's not a quick handoff, this is right in Lamar Jackson's wheelhouse, right? The options he presents to you with a quarterback of this nature, if it's not just a sneak or a quick dive by the fullback, we're going to see something off the edge with Lamar Jackson.
They'll roll out to the right. Throws complete to Mark Thompson, and Thompson will barrel his way down close to the 25. 1st down.
Yeah, and this is very typical. What does this do? This gives Lamar Jackson an opportunity to get outside of the protection. Now, if he has to pull it down and run, clearly this is the place to go. Now, the ball was a little bit behind. I'm going to be a little critical here. That's what we didn't see in Miami. Now, this is catchable. It's a 1st down. I'll take it. I'm glad to have it. But I'd like to see some more of those throws we had in Miami where he hits him in the lead glove, can turn it and get more yards up the field.
1st and 10 from the Redskins 26 on this opening drive. The late handoff goes to Thompson. Hit the backfield and drop. Picks up maybe 1 yard.
And let's keep in mind on the Redskins side of the ball, these guys are fighting for some positions as well. So, you know, I know the last preseason game going, well, where's the drama? There's a lot of drama out there. Everybody, you know, half the guys on this football field right now may not be here in the NFL after tomorrow, Saturday, whenever it happens. So you talk about competition, drama, emotion. It's out on that field right now.
2nd down and 9. Lamar Jackson, 10th play of this opening drive. Has time, he throws a strike complete to Rashad Perriman, and Perriman will be close to a 1st down. So that time he has a small window to put it in, and he throws a dart.
Yeah, very impressive, and had to be on the money. Perriman gets to the top. This is a quick stop route. All hands, we love that. We've been talking about, you know, the Rashad Perriman of the past would have let that come into his body, and the DB may have very well just gotten in there had he not put the hands out to get the reception.
Lamar Jackson connecting on his first 4 passes tonight. Puts the ball in the Grill Mates red zone for the 1st time. Power formation. Thompson running behind Patrick Ricard. He's got room inside the 5, and he stretches for the pylon. Looking for the signal. Touchdown! Mark Thompson with the stretch hits the pylon, and the Ravens are in the end zone. 16-yard run. And it caps a successful opening drive for Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, this the running game, obviously what we're seeing here with everybody involved. We're seeing some strength, a nice sidestep, some speed, acceleration, and size. Now get the ball out, stretch it. Oh, boy, I don't know. Looks like that knee was down before he crossed the pylon. So at that point, he is down. It's not a fumble.
Ruling on the field of touchdown is under review.
Yeah, it's gonna. This thing's gonna be probably on the one right where his knee hits. It's just right there. Doesn't look like he crossed the pylon or hit the pylon, crossed the line. I think this thing's gonna come back maybe to the 2-yard line.
All right, we will get the official review brought to you by Toyota in just a moment. 6-0 Ravens. Referee Sean Smith with the verdict on whether the Mark Thompson touchdown will stand or be spotted down at the 1-yard line.
Or not.
Very deliberate, I would say, on his part.
They know what they're doing, and he just isn't going to tell anybody yet.
Typically, they wait for TV to come back before making the call. Well, we're TV. We're back. Come on, Sean. Give us the call.
It looks like it was short based on where they're spotting the ball. The defense of the Redskins is still out there. And you can see right here, the knees definitely down, and the ball did not cross the plane. So down there, not across, had the right camera angle, so they get the call right.
The runner's left knee was down with the ball at the half-yard line. Therefore, the first and goal, Baltimore at the half-yard line. Clock operator, please reset the game clock to 8 minutes and 17 seconds. The clock will start on my whistle.
So Lamar Jackson and the offense back on the field to try to finish off this drive, which started just shy of their 20-yard lines, but a terrific drive. Now you have to finish it off when you thought you had it finished off.
Yeah, and again, there's no bad way to finish this thing off. You run it, jam it in, the offensive line feels good. If Lamar Jackson does something on the outside, that looks good. Marty Morningwig, a lot of options when you're first and goal on the 1-yard line, and with some of these options, life's good.
Two tight ends to the right. Give it to Mark Thompson. He's going to be stonewalled at the 1. It'll be second and goal.
And I've talked about it many times that the defense at this position, you either sell out to stop the run or you anticipate it being a pass. You can't do one or the other. You can't do both, excuse me. So this is a tough call. Do we think they're going to shove it up in the middle again, or are they going to do a little play action pass? We'll see what the Redskins think is going to happen.
It's the play action. Jackson's going to keep it, and he will stroll in easily with a tumble for 6. That's a touchdown with a flourish from the Louisville Cardinal. And now in 3 straight games, Lamar Jackson with a running touchdown. See if you can complement that with a passing touchdown later in the opening half.
Well, they sold out for the inside run. There's no question about that. Like I said, you gotta make a decision one way or the other. The problem is when you do that on this backside, you better have somebody stay home. If I got Lamar Jackson as a quarterback, yeah, I'm going to sell out on the inside. And you know what? 10 is enough because the 11th guy on the backside better account for Jackson.
Mark Andrews, the rookie tight end, who we were talking about learning how to block, that does a nice job on that left end. Corey Vedvik with the extra points. 7:31 to play in the opening quarter. A 13-play scoring drive. The Geico scoring drive takes 7.5 minutes, and Lamar Jackson starts it and caps it with a 1-yard touchdown run. So John Harbaugh said he wanted to see his rookie quarterback, how he would handle the opportunity to start. Say pretty well.
Absolutely. The drive had rhythm. We saw a little bit of everything. Saw him scramble around, get to the outside for the score. A couple nice runs by the running back. A couple precise routes. So it had a little bit of everything. Not the least of which is the pacing. Everybody's talked a little bit about how Lamar Jackson, who really didn't have to do this in college, get used to hearing the play, verbalize it in the huddle, get everybody set up, possibly check at the line. So these are all things that anytime he has to be put in position to do that, it's a positive, and obviously did it to the tune of 13 plays and a touchdown.
Jerry Sandusky, Brian Billick with you live from the Verizon broadcast booth. The Ravens in front 7-0. John Harbaugh getting a good long look at his first-round draft pick, the second of 2 first-round draft picks. Lamar Jackson engineering an 81-yard touchdown run. Corey Vedvik with the kickoff. Vedvik has been extremely impressive in preseason, and he will punch that one out of the back of the end zone. Not a guy who likely has a roster spot for the Ravens, but a guy who can kick in this league. Well, we invite you to send your questions our way. If you have questions for Coach Billick, at Coach Billick, fire him his way during tonight's game. Send them using the hashtag #RavensBooth, and we will get to your questions as we continue on the broadcast. You are not the only one with questions. Brian and I have them. Ozzie Newsome and John Harbaugh have them. They're looking for answers tonight. One of those answers is 2 quarterbacks or 3. Brian, you touched on this. You have to think it's going to be 3 quarterbacks, but you feel pretty good about that rookie. Yeah, you do. And all signs are heading to it, particularly with RG3 not playing tonight as much as he probably wanted to against these Redskins. So, and to have Lamar Jackson come out in his first starting drive and to go 13 plays on a scoring drive has got to feel pretty good. Samaje Perine will run the ball on first down for the Redskins out to the 29-yard line. up a 2nd down and 6. And we'll get a look at some of the young Ravens players. Not all of them on the bubble. Tyus Bowser's out there. Patrick Ricard is out there. The fullback, he's getting a full night's work here, at least in the opening half. Had the lead block on the touchdown. Now he's at nose guard. Kevin Hogan, the quarterback for the Redskins, on the short drop. Short completion, taken down just shy of the 1st down. Kenny Young, inside linebacker from UCLA, with the wrap and tackle. Kenny Young is one of those guys, Brian, who has just grabbed more attention week by week in training camp.
Well, to me, a hallmark of a great defense is the ability to tackle an open field. That was the hallmark of our 2000 team championship, of the 2012, and you saw it there in Kenny Young. Yeah, they're going to make some plays, but boy, you're on the ground right now, no extra yards.
Sets up a 3rd down, less than 1. Inside handoff to Pirine. And Bronson Calfusi with the stick and the stop and a drop back to the 30-yard line, and the defense delivers, forcing the Redskins 3 and out. Brought to you by PMSI.
Yeah, Calfusi is one of those guys we keep talking about. He's one of those defensive ends that kind of gets lost in the shuffle. BYU kid, long arms. Could be someone that we talk about wanting to keep that extra man, or maybe someone having some trade potential. He's one of the guys who will be on that list.
Former 3rd-round draft pick Tim White will get a chance in the punt return. Brings it along the far sideline up to the 35-yard line. That's where the Ravens offense will go to work. Opening quarter, 5.5 minutes to play. Ravens up 7-0.
Ravens football is brought to you by M&T Bank, proud to be the official bank of your Baltimore Ravens. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By Verizon, the official wireless voice, internet, and cable service provider of the Baltimore Ravens. By MedStar Health, proud to be the official medical team of the Baltimore Ravens. And by Advanced Business Systems, official business solutions provider to the Baltimore Ravens.
Don't miss the action at M&T Bank Stadium this season. Single game tickets on sale now at BaltimoreRavens.com/tickets, or call 410-547-7328. There are still tickets available for next week's season opener, September 9th, here at M&T Bank Stadium against the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, and everybody needs to stick around here, because I'm going to coach Jerry up here a little bit about how to use this new app they've got. It's really special. We used it tonight to pass some tickets on.
We're going digital.
We are going digital. You and I are getting drug into the next century.
Well, they used to call you CompuCoach.
Yeah, I know,
right?
I know, but even this one's graduate work. This is pretty cool. Stick around.
Lamar Jackson engineered a 13-play touchdown drive on his first possession. Goes to the inside handoff. Kenneth Dixon with a nice run. He's tossed to the turf at the 44-yard line. Not a lot of debate, you wouldn't think, at who's going to be the running back trio for the Ravens, but one young guy who has certainly flashed these last 2 weeks is DeLance Turner. Dixon again on the carry, running along the hash mark, just shy of the 1st down, a 3rd and 1 coming up. As we look at the predictions for the 53-man roster, you have to think it's Alex Collins, Buck Allen, Kenneth Dixon, and Patrick Ricard as your fullback.
And he's kind of his own special category in that regard. I don't know, have they ever really given him the ball? But obviously in a fullback. But, you know, you talked about Turner. He was impressive with that big run he had against Miami, that 65-yarder, and the one he popped off today, showing speed, size, and quickness with his feet.
But he does not get to the line of scrimmage on a 3rd and 1. He's dropped for a loss by Sean Dion Hamilton, and that brings the punt team on for the first time. And that means it will be Corey Vedvik kicking the ball away. Vedvik is a guy who had to know on day one he wasn't going to make the Ravens roster because they have Sam Cook and Justin Tucker. But Vedvik, a native of Norway, has been so impressive. His 2 biggest fans are Cook and Tucker, saying that they firmly believe he can kick in this league.
There's half a dozen teams in the league right now, I guarantee you, don't have as good a punter as Vedvik.
Strowman with the fair catch. Ravens defense back in the field 1 weekend back. First quarter, Ravens up 7-0 on the Ravens game day network. Healthy preseason. They come into tonight with Hayden Hurst having had minor foot surgery for a fracture. He'll miss the first couple of weeks, likely, of the upcoming season. Willie Henry coming back from an abdomen injury. Deshaun Elliott, a rookie who has flashed in the safety spot, likely headed to IR and out for the season with a fractured arm suffered last week. And sometimes, as heartbreaking it is for a young player to get hurt, sometimes it can be a blessing for his career.
Yes, it is. Finds you a place on the roster, gives you one more year to mature, and maybe they can make another run at it the next year.
Washington takes over, 1st and 10. The Redskins 14, movement along the line. And this will back the Redskins up 5.
False start. Offense number 83. 5-yard penalty remains. First down.
Fortunately, the brutal heat from this afternoon has dissipated a little bit of a breeze picking up here.
I like your differentiation by degree. It's still hot, brother, let me tell you.
But just shy of brutal.
It is.
Terrell Suggs working the sidelines with Wink Martindale. Redskins go to the ground game, and that's going to lose a couple of yards as Rob Kelly is buried by Patrick Ricard, the 1950s two-way style player. I mean, this kid is a throwback.
Yeah, this is amazing right into here. I mean, when you're getting this kind of productivity out of your fullback, I mean, I'm only half joking there, but that versatility, you talk about a quality roster spot on a guy that could get you out of a game in the defensive line should something happen there. And by the way, gives you that presence on offense. That's a valuable man right there.
A twofer when it goes to cut down the roster size. Fills in 2 spots. Kevin Hogan takes the shotgun snap, hands it off to Rob Kelly, who darts across the 10 all the way out to the 16-yard line. Nice run for Rob Kelly. Bronson Calfusi with his 2nd stop of the night. Our first question for you, Coach, from Kevin Avila on Twitter. Who do you think has the inside track in winning the inside linebacker spot next to C.J. Mosley? The two at play here would be Kenny Smith and Peanut Owasso.
Yeah, I mean,
Kenny Young, rather.
Kenny Young, and we've already seen the athleticism of Kenny Young, and the coaches talk about they like Owasso, but they think Young is the better player, the better athlete, and just needs the playing time.
Hogan looking to throw. Completes it across the 20 to the 26-yard line. That is good for a first down. Capri Bibbs tackled by Board on the stop. Board, one of those bubble players who has certainly caught a lot of attention throughout his play this summer.
And is a prime candidate to be, again, that record setting was 15 years
15 years in a row
with an undrafted free agent making this club.
Last 14 years, an undrafted rookie has made the Ravens opening game roster. Board, one of a handful trying to do it this year. Kelly again carrying a nice run. That's almost 10 on the play before Chris Board can bring him down. Moving quickly through this first quarter.
The coaches love that. Again, you alluded to the fact it's been a very healthy camp, which, given the extra game and the work they had against the Rams and the Colts, it's a good sign. Not just luck. I mean, fate has something to do with it, but it's a good sign that your team is in good enough shape that the injuries haven't been a factor.
2nd down and 1 for the Redskins from the Washington 34. Kelly on the dive play. Carried Miles Humphrey across the 20 of the 35-yard line for a Washington first down. Jerry Sandusky, the coach. Brian Billick live from the Verizon broadcast booth on this 5th and final preseason game. Ravens 4-0 for a 3rd straight year in preseason.
And not to claim to be Nostradamus here, but I did say the Ravens would be 5-0. If for no other reason, I said that before. Not when they were 4-0. Just as you know what, I think they'll be 5-0. But I said this because of the very no other reason than Lamar Jackson being in the game when the game tends to fall apart and the productivity that we're going to get. It's been good.
A swing pass to Kelly will net the Redskins a first down as Bronson Calfusi brings him down in front of the Washington bench. So Calfusi, a guy who's been on the bubble, a former 3rd-round draft pick, hasn't flashed very much in training camp, but starting to have a nice night tonight.
And like we said, he's one of those guys that plays long, got the long arms. He got the sack on that one where Lamar Jackson got on the outside and isolated that end that needed to stay home. Well, he was that end that stayed home, so he did his job. Got a lot of enthusiasm for the game. He could be one of those guys that is possible trade material for the Ravens.
Stanley Jean-Baptiste shaken up on that last play. You have to hope for his sake it's just a cramp on a muggy night in late August, because he is a guy trying to very much fight for a roster spot with Jimmy Smith heading to the suspension list to start the regular season. Stanley Jean-Baptiste was looking to be that guy who, I don't want to say backed onto the roster, earned his spot, but filled the void that is going to be there. But now he has to sit through a consultation with Leanne Curl and the medical team. You hope it's nothing serious for a kid who is right on the verge of resuming his NFL career, a former second-round draft pick of the New Orleans Saints. That'll bring us to the end of the first quarter. One in the books with the Ravens in front, 7-0. Lamar Jackson leading a 13-play scoring drive and capping it with a little dash of fun. Ravens up 7-0 on the Redskins on the Ravens Game Day Network.
Look at his opening quarter touchdown. You can see here he gets outside. Now we get a unique view. We get to go into his helmet. And now this is a pretty good view. When you get this kind of view, you have time to think, what am I going to do when I get in the end zone? I'm going to roll and I'm going to spin it. I'm going to do some other things because there was nobody in front of him.
He is a kid who loves to have fun on game night. Let's head down to the field, Nevin Washburn.
And that is always on display, guys. But one thing that has come under the microscope as this evaluation of Lamar Jackson continues throughout the preseason is the hits that he does take when he gets outside of the pocket. I thought it was fascinating this week to hear RG3, a guy who'd been through some injury concerns because of his inability to slide, mention that Lamar's going to have to learn this on his own. And we've already seen early in this game him take some hits on these scrambles. It has to be something that's at the forefront of his evaluation and development as a quarterback as a pro.
Rob Kelly pulled down after a 7-yard run on first down. Visiting with Lamar earlier this week, I even brought up to him, Brian, that your offensive coordinator, your veterans are all telling you, you got to learn to slide. You have to avoid some of these hits. To which he said, you know, a lot of quarterbacks get hurt in the pocket too. So, yeah. I sense there's a little bit of youthful naivete there.
Yeah, you know what I'd do? I'd go back and get a reel of all the hits that RG3 took and sit down. You know, you do it sometimes, all the interceptions and all the plays that you want to make a point to the young man and show him. And with RG3 there, it'd be painful for RG3.
Hogan throws complete out on the flat to Rob Kelly, who is pulled down by Kenny Young, the ubiquitous Kenny Young. Back to Twitter. Kyle Henderson asking the coach, how do you think the Ravens will use Lamar Jackson in the regular season?
Well, there's been speculation, obviously short yardage, red zone, goal line. But I'll go back to the original point as well. When you got a championship quarterback like Joe Flacco, do you really want to take him off the field in critical situations? I understand what that can do, and adds a dynamic to the offense. But what does that say to Joe Flacco? I mean, can you imagine Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Ben Roethlisberger, Aaron Rodgers coming off the field in a critical situation? So if you're just going to do that in regular situations or when the game is out of reach one way or the other, I'm not sure what the value. We know Lamar Jackson can do those things. You know, where he's going to grow is having to do it from the pocket. And I don't know, unless, God forbid, something happen to Joe Flacco, he's going to get that growth in the pocket. It's going to have to come in practice. So I understand the value of it, and if it can help you win a game, that's great. But there's a downside to it as well.
Ravens defense trying to get off the field here as the Redskins pick up another first down. Kevin Hogan going deep. Good coverage on the play. Jackson Porter had the coverage. Second down, 10. If you're a rookie free agent, if you're a bubble player, you haven't done much in the way of highlights to impress a Wink Martindale or even your teammate like Terrell Suggs, do you come into this game worried that it's too late?
Or you do something, some knucklehead thing that's what always worried me about as a coach. Not only my players, but the guys on the other side of the field. That some guy, I got to make an impact, I got to do something, does something stupid that puts a player at risk. I've worried about that as much as anything going into that last preseason game.
Kevin Hogan on second down, hands it off. Elijah P-Ryan with the run for another first down, a late flag throw. This might be a tackle out of bounds.
And this is just what I'm talking about. Not that this is a dumb thing to do. Obviously, you're trying to make a play, but it's the extracurricular stuff.
Personal foul, horse collar tackle, defense number 49. Half the distance penalty, automatic first down.
So that's Chris Board, rookie free agent out of North Dakota State.
And it's the fact that probably he pulled him down and didn't let him go. Also ran the risk, although I don't think he got his hand inside the pad, the horse collar. And that's just a matter of once you get outside, you got to let go.
It's the ball to Grillmates red zone. First and goal, Washington from just inside the 10. Rob Kelly on the run. He'll be stacked up after a tough yard or two. Board with a make good tackle on the play. We head back down to the field and Evan Washburn.
Well, guys, just furthering that conversation about some of these free agents and guys that probably know they're going to get cut. That survivor mentality can affect their decision making because they know they need to pop on tape, not just for the Ravens, but for 31 other teams. There's interns in front offices across the league that are tabbing plays, big plays in every preseason game. So it becomes more than just fighting for the guys in purple and white.
On second and goal, the pass is incomplete. And a flag is thrown. Roberts and Daniel came in on the hip for Rob Kelly. And you could tell from the body language, Roberts and Daniel realized he was going to get a flag.
Yeah, and it looked like he tried to pull up a little bit. This is tough down here, particularly in the red zone. Things happen quickly. This just may be hitting the defenseless receiver. This may not necessarily be the head-to-head helmet contact.
Personal foul, defense, number 49, hit to the head and neck area of a defenseless player. Half the distance penalty, automatic first down.
This is where football gets dicey, Brian, because it's an important play for the defense to make here.
Yeah.
It's a bang-bang play.
Yeah, but that's clearly leading with the head. He dipped the head. That one was pretty blatant. I don't know, he tried to pull off at the last minute, but that is the play that the rule is written for.
And it gives the Redskins a first and goal. Hogan throws complete, touchdown Washington. Brian Quick in the end zone. Well, the Ravens used a naked boot for a touchdown run. The Redskins use a boot for a touchdown throw.
Yeah, and you're just going to see this on the back side here. They blocked down. The tight end came all the way from the other side. This is tough on a quarterback. Nice job by Hogan going to his left. You got a right-handed quarterback going to his left, but obviously broken coverage in that instance. Someone needed to trail that crossing tight end from all the way opposite of the formation.
Tonight's broadcast of the Ravens Game Day Network presented by Geico. Press Way on for the extra point tries. Way's kick is good. Just under 12 minutes to play in the opening half. We are tied at 7. Two quarterbacks making their mark tonight on the Ravens Game Day Network. We invite you to party with the flock at the Ravens Countdown to Kickoff Party presented by Miller Lite. Friday, September 7th at the Maryland State Fairgrounds. Performing live, Brian's favorite band, Third Eye Blind, and the Struts. Twofer. Tickets start at $15 at BaltimoreRavens.com/kickoff. All right, well, I'll give you the 70-30 split of the lottery ticket if you can name one Third Eye Blind song.
Well, let me think here. My favorite, If There Ever Was a Time.
Bam.
I think that's my favorite.
Good. I told you he loved his band. Well done, brother. Well done. All right, let's take a look.
That's why I love working with you, man.
At the after this kick at the first 4 games coming up in this regular season. And what the Ravens will be preparing for as they all have 2 division games right out of the gate. Pressway will kick. This is Janarian Grant, who's deep. Tim White's had a couple of touches. Grant will not get a touch as Wade puts it right out of the back of the end zone. So the Ravens will open up a week from Sunday at home against the Bills. And then it's the quick turn, a Thursday night game on the road in Cincinnati. Is there a bigger disadvantage in the NFL than being the road team on Thursday?
No, and that's my biggest problem with the Thursday night games. They're here to stay. I understand it, and they try to get everybody to it. But if you're a team that doesn't have to go on the road for a Thursday night game, particularly in the division, I realize, okay, you're familiar and it's in the division. That's part of the reasoning. But if the Cincinnati Bengals don't have to go on the road in the division, or at least head-to-head with the Baltimore Ravens, I think that's a competitive disadvantage.
Lamar Jackson on first down. His pass is complete to Rashad Perriman out of the 34-yard line. He'll get 9 yards on the first play of the drive, and then the last 2 games to open up that first quarter of the season. Denver here in Baltimore, and then back on the road in the division for a Sunday night game against Pittsburgh. So it gets live in a hurry. Thompson on the carry. He'll stretch the ball to the 36-yard line, and that is good for a first down. Rashad Perryman, a former first-round draft pick, fighting for a spot on this roster. Take us through his route.
Well, just an easy, quick slant, and again, what are we seeing? All hands. Did a nice job of snatching it. That's been the hit on Perryman, the fact that he's a bit of a body catcher, showing that no, I'm not. I can catch the ball with my hand.
Mark Jackson right down the seam. He strikes the tight end. Andrews breaks free. He's to the 30. Leg race to the 25. And the rookie from Oklahoma is pushed out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. Well, nice throw, great run. A couple of rookies showcasing there.
That was an impressive throw and catch right here. You're going to see him right up the side, up right down the middle. That pass is typically caught approaching the hash, just as we saw. Little quicks there. Nice job. This shows his ability to get the ball down the field. A good route runner. That's not an easy catch.
45-yard gain, and that is a big kid, 256 pounds. The Grill Mates red zone. Thompson with the carry, sweeping forward to the 17-yard line. So if you get down to the field level and get a perspective of how big a target Mark Andrews is.
And that's exactly why quarterbacks love tight ends. That's a big sweep spot. When you're 6'5", 255, 260 pounds, that's a big sweep spot. You can put the ball in a lot of places to a big tight end, a big target like that.
Mark Jackson going for the end zone. He's got a man there, but he overthrows Jordan Lastly in the back corner. Back to Mark Andrews. Had a chance to visit with him. Scouts to a man have said his knack for getting into the open space is something you can't coach. We asked him, where did you develop that? He said, grew up playing soccer. And because he played so much soccer as a kid, he just got a feel for being in the open space.
That's the first thing Marty Morningwig said when he talked about Mark Andrews, is the natural ability to get open. Still has to refine some of the subtleties of the position, but he has the innate ability to do just that.
On 3rd and 8, Jackson's pass incomplete. He was looking for Lastly. He put that one behind the rookie, and that will force the kick team on for the Ravens.
Yeah, those last 2 passes are one that Lamar Jackson's going to have to learn. The first one was out of bounds. You know, I jokingly said last week, no pass in the history of the NFL has ever been caught out of bounds. When you're throwing up a fade, it's got to land on the field. And that other one was not a bad throw. It was just late. Had to be out a whole lot earlier.
So the learning curve continues for the Ravens rookie quarterback as Corey Vedvik comes on to attempt a 35-yard field goal. Vedvik's kick right through the uprights. It puts the Ravens back in front 10-7. With under 10 minutes of play in the half, it was the Mark Andrews reception, a 45-yard throw and catch that sets up the go-ahead field goal on the Ravens Game Day Network. 10-7, Ravens in front of the Redskins. The Mark Andrews play set up the go-ahead field goal, but Brian, could have been a touchdown.
It could have. A nice job getting the ball into Andrews. Just a little seam route in here. But I want you to watch. These are the little things coach is looking for. Right here, I want you to run up Rashard Perryman. He has the speed right here. Take this guy out right here. Take him out and give Mark Andrews a chance to get to the sideline. You want to be a great receiver? Julio Jones would have crushed that guy. I mean, those are the little things that you want to look for at a player to show the presence to be an impact player. As a receiver, that was a chance to be an impact player.
And in a battle for jobs, those last spots, the little things become the big things. Geico scoring drive, 7 plays, 59 yards, and they cap it with a Corey Vedvik field goal as Vedvik then punches the ball out of the back of the end zone. A crush job off the tee. The young man from Norway trying to draw as much attention as possible around the league because he has an unbelievably strong leg. You put something on Twitter earlier this week talking about Corey Vedvik this summer having a better summer than Sam Cook did in his Pro Bowl year in terms of his just gross punting average.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's a great kickoff guy. He's a punter. He's a field goal kicker. And you also get the entire country of Norway pulling for your team. I mean,
offside, kicking team number 47. 5-yard penalty will be added to the dead ball spot. First down, Washington.
All hail Norway. Talk about a circuitous route to the NFL if he can make it with some team. He comes over as a exchange student in a camp, they see him kicking. Marshall gives him a college scholarship, and the next thing you know, he's knocking on the door in the NFL. Only in America.
Yeah, I coached college ball for 12 years and never saw a recruiting area that included Norway. Maybe we should have expanded it a little bit.
Well, Norway or not, he's got some stars in front of him. Justin Tucker, Sam Cook, and Morgan Cox. They have those spots locked up as the specialists.
Best combination in the league.
It really is.
That's a real asset.
They're guys who win games from the specialist position, which is why Corey Vedvik will not make the Ravens 53. But all three of those guys have told us he has the tools to kick in this league, so you hope he gets a shot. Kevin Hogan off the play fake, going deep. And it is caught, but out of bounds. Brian Quick with a touchdown reception. Covered by Robertson Daniel. Sets up a 3rd down and 3.
And I want to see here what Coach Martindale does with this group, obviously, and some of the guys that we've been talking about, how aggressive they want to be on 3rd down. This is a 3rd medium. Get you the first. How aggressive do you want to be? Let's see how aggressive he wants to be with this group. Looks like very aggressive because you got 9 guys, 10 guys right up on the line of scrimmage.
See if they bring them all. They bring most of them. A quick slant is caught for the first down at the 42-yard line. Trey Quinn coming up with the reception. Jackson Porter on the coverage. So decent execution both sides of the ball will keep the Redskins offense on the field. Approaching 8.5 minutes to play here in the opening half. Jerry Sandusky, the coach. Brian Billick live from the Verizon broadcast booth. Ravens in front 10-7.
Moved very quickly. Not a lot of penalties. Both teams committing to the run as well. Good first half so far.
Ryan will carry, tries to get around the left edge. Instead, squirts inside the numbers. Tumbles forward to the 46-yard line for a couple of tough yards. Every single player on the field, whether they're outside that 53-man hump or not, has spent the last 10, 12, 14 years of his life playing football. It's hard to digest the fact that for some of these guys, this is the last game they will ever play.
Yeah, I don't want to make it over dramatic, but I always am drawn to the Clint Eastwood line in The Unforgiven. You know, when you kill a man, you take away not only everything he's had, everything he's ever going to have. And I'm someone that was cut twice in the National Football League, so I know what that feeling is. To know that you're basically being, your life's dream. Okay, no, you need to do something else, and you got to be respectful of that. And I know John Harbaugh is. Every head coach that has had to go through that, because these young men for the last, like you said, 10 weeks or so, and up to this point in their life, has put unbelievable amount of sacrifice, put their bodies on the line, and you got to respect that.
And most have been the guy. Most were the guy in their high school, or the guy in college. And all of a sudden, you might be the guy on the outside looking in. 3rd and 2 for the Redskins at midfield. And Washington will use its first timeout.
First team charge timeout. Washington. 30 seconds.
And you got to be mindful too. We talk about a lot of the starters aren't playing. Remember, Ozzie Newsome would always come into my office and would talk about, okay, what are we going to do this last game? And, it was one of those things where it was, okay, we're not going to play this guy, that guy. We don't want to, play any of the starters. So we're going to play all these back end guys. But don't get anybody hurt. Okay, coach? I go, well, okay. Well, so now we're playing on a short roster, right? Because I don't have everybody available. A bunch of guys that know they're on that back end, but don't get anybody hurt because we don't want to pay for them. Okay, got it.
As if you don't have enough to do as a head coach.
Right. I'd be yelling the whole game. Don't get hurt. Don't get hurt.
Hogan throws complete to the Ravens' 45-yard line. That is good for another 3rd down conversion. Washington's offense will continue to move the ball and take the clock down. Under 7 minutes to play here in the opening half. The Ravens Game Day Network is presented by Geico on this humid night in Baltimore. Ravens have been fairly lucky this August training camp with no practice days getting over 100 degrees, but this last week has been torture.
This is usually where you see a vertical pass across the 50, got a first down. Let's see if they want to take a shot.
Hogan hands it off to Peavine, fumbles the ball, and the Ravens recover. A flag is thrown as Patrick Ricard comes up with the fumble.
How about that? He's having a heck of a night. Plus, I think he was held. Let's see.
Holding, offense number 66. That penalty's declined, resulting play. It's a fumble recovered by Baltimore. First down.
And this is all Patrick Ricard. This is impressive. And the coaches have talked about his improving ability. You see him on the inside. Watch him in here, and he literally just reaches up there, pulls it out, and then falls on the ball. That's a trifecta there. Nice job.
10-7, Ravens lead it with 6:22 to play in the opening half, and here it is, your defensive play of the game. Patrick Ricard getting held on his knees, forces the fumble, and then falls on it. I mean, he did everything but make the football on that play.
And the trifecta I was referring to is he gets the strip, falls on the ball, and he was the one that 66 held. So he had the penalty as well.
Not bad for a two-way player who is having a great night as a nose guard. All right, so let's take a look at what he gives you in terms of some roster depth. Does he give you the flexibility of maybe working a deal for one of your other defensive linemen, knowing you have this quality player in that spot?
Absolutely. We talked about keeping the three quarterbacks. You need to keep some of these guys in the secondary because of the Jimmy Smith suspension. His ability to get you out of a game and effectively play in a game as a defensive lineman may allow you to make one of those trades.
We'll take a closer look at the defensive line options after this play. 1st and 10 Ravens at their 46. Jackson off the play fake. He's got room around the edge, and he'll throw it complete. Darren Waller on the reception. So as we look at this Ravens defensive line, it is deep. And the guy who I would say is most intriguing in this is at the bottom, Zach Sealer, the rookie from Ferris State, the 7th round pick, the last pick of Ozzie Newsome's career. I know sentimentality doesn't fall into the 53-man selection, but if it were such a thing, would you campaign to keep this kid?
Sure, beyond the fact that it's all upside for what this guy does. I mean, he's got a huge upside, and that power and strength from the inside is huge.
Lamar Jackson going up top, and his pass is intercepted in the end zone. Adonis Alexander will bring it back, but he'll be whistled down with the touchback. Brian, let's take another look at this. I'm wondering if Rashad Perriman did enough to try to knock that ball down.
Yeah, this is one when we get a chance to look at it that as a quarterback,
Ruling
and
on
John
the field,
maybe tell him right here.
Touchback.
We need a little. You need to help your quarterback a little bit more than that.
Lamar Jackson trying to step up in the pocket, put it into the end zone. This play is being booth reviewed, as all turnovers are.
He's clearly down in the end zone, but right here, Rashad Perriman, this you're going to see right here, deep. Ball's a little underthrown. He actually could have been called for pass interference. You got to be more aggressive for going in there and protect your quarterback. Turn into a DB and knock it down.
We'll take another look when we come back. 10-7, Ravens lead it on the Ravens Game Day Network. This will be an interesting review. It's an automatic review after a turnover. We've had a chance to take a look. Brian, it looks like the ball hits the ground.
Yeah, there's no question about it here. He did not have control. Ball hits the ground right there. It's interesting. Both offenses are on the field. That should be fun. Let's let these two go at it. At least the quarterback was out there. But they know the ball hit the ground, so now they kind of dodged a bullet here. Throw should have been more outside by Lamar Jackson, maybe up a little bit earlier. But they lived to take another try.
And they are taking a tremendous amount of time to make what looks to be a pretty straightforward decision. Sean Smith, our referee.
Keep in mind, everybody in the league is playing tonight, so this really puts a strain on New York.
The ruling on the field has been changed to an incomplete pass. It will be Baltimore's ball, 2nd and 10 on the 41-yard line on the Washington hash mark. 2nd down.
Back at the league office where the NFL is involved now in all of the reviews. All hands on deck tonight, huh?
Yeah, because, you know, obviously it's normally spread out between the 1 o'clock games, the 4 o'clock games, the Thursday night game, the Sunday night game, the Monday night game. So when you've got the entire league playing on a Thursday night, I imagine they're scrambling.
Scramble worked for the Ravens there as Lamar Jackson will have a 2nd and 10. The interception overturned. While the play doesn't count, the videotape does. Rashad Perriman with another missed opportunity. Guy in a fight for a job. Literally fight for every single play out here. Jackson throws quickly and complete. Perriman gets his feet down inbounds at the 35-yard line, where it will be a 3rd down and about 4. It has been the storyline of Rashad Perriman's career as a Raven. He will show some flashes and then take plays off. Injuries have certainly undercut his progress. His ability will entice you to be excited, and then a month will go by and it'll seem to disappear.
And we talk about other teams looking and sizing up what they want to do. This is one where he needs to be concerned.
And Lamar Jackson is sacked back at the 37-yard line, and that will bring the drive to an end, and Corey Vedvik on for a long field goal try. Sometimes when you take a sack, it's not the worst thing in the world. It actually shows progress.
It does, and it has to do, and if you got a good field goal kicker with lots of range, this is one of those where, of course, he had no chance there. If you feel like that kind of pressure, get the ball out quick, so it at least gives you a chance to try a more makeable field goal. I don't think he had that kind of time. He was just in survival mode at that point.
A 56-yard try for Corey Vedvik. Vedvik's kick, a line drive shot, is good from 56. So Corey Vedvik continues to attract attention as he shows tremendous leg strength. And the fans who turned out here tonight, 70 Bank Stadium, are thrilled to see the field goal from the rookie free agent. Brian, the fans who came tonight used the new digital ticketing system. Take us through. You've been telling me you're going to illustrate and teach me how to digitize my tickets. Now's your chance.
And I'm going to show you this so that you can send me the tickets so I can get into the games during the regular season. This is really pretty cool. You get in the app. Right here, you're going to press send, okay? Now it's going to take you, and you got to decide of the tickets you have. And I've used this because I had to get some tickets to some friends. You decide which of your tickets you mark 1 or 2 or however many, whatever your ticket count is, so that they know. Obviously, you then send the ticket at this point right into here. And then it goes through a screen. You can put in the information for, you know, who the person is and what their email and how they get that set, and they get that. You've been sent 1 ticket to the Ravens versus the Redskins, and right up in here, now you're good to go. So this is something. This is very, very useful. I've already used it, and it's one of those things where there's many ways to text, email, social media. They're making it as easy as possible to deal with your tickets.
That's very informative, except you just sent me 1 ticket. My wife is already mad at you.
Well, actually, the ticket was for her.
Oh, okay. Now that explains everything. Well done. Look at you.
I'm all over it, man. I'm Mr. Digital.
The doctor of digit. Vedvik, after the 56-yard field goal, puts the ball out of the back of the end zone. The Geico scoring drive, 5 plays, 16 yards, 2 minutes and 3 seconds. Corey Vedvik caps it with a 56-yard field goal. This season, the Baltimore Ravens and Campbell's Chunky are teaming up to fight hunger in the Baltimore area with that field goal by Corey Vedvik. Campbell's will donate another 500 cans of soup to the Maryland Food Bank. I wish I knew how to say well done in Norwegian.
Well, you may have to learn.
Well done.
Yeah, just put a V in front of anything, you're good.
Up the plate fake, Hogan under pressure. He'll lob it complete to the 40-yard line. Nice sidestep. And into Ravens territory, down to the 40-yard line. Anthony Averett on the stop, a 33-yard gain for the Redskins. Averett, a 4th-round draft pick out of Alabama. I think he'll be part of the secondary picture. But like so many rookies out on the island, now comes the time to have to earn the trust of your coaches, because after tonight, the stakes go way up. Let's pressure up the middle. Reach Rob Kelly, who squirts through it. And Kelly down to the Ravens 35-yard line with Just about 3.5 minutes left here in the opening half. Ravens in front by 6.
You got to like the depth of the secondary. Let's remember a couple of years ago that was really an issue for the Ravens. It kind of was one of the reasons that things had faltered the way they did late in the season. But now with the depth, even with the Jimmy Smith, being down for the first 4 games, when you've got veterans like Carr and the depth that they have all the way down. We haven't even mentioned the young man that last summer lit it up for Jalen Hill.
And a sack off the edge for Bronson Calfusi.
Calfusi's having a nice game. He's going to get some attention here. You're going to see him coming off the backside all the way outside. We talked about what a tough, this is tough for an offensive lineman. You're out in space here. He drives it off, drives it out. The quarterback really kind of betrayed it. He had to take a second drop here. He's ready to go. Drops a little bit deeper because of the inside rush. I talked about in my piece in the pregame how it takes a village, right? It was the inside pass rush that pushed the quarterback back deep enough for Calfusi to get the sack.
5 tackles and a pair of sacks for Bronson Calfusi. 3rd and 13 and a flag prior to the snap.
Delay game, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
Wink Martindale, the defensive coordinator, has talked about Calfusi. He said he's told Calfusi in a team meeting, you've got to elevate your play for us to consider you to be on our 53-man roster. And I speak to that, not of Wink Martindale just calling out a player, but Martindale said he wants his players to know that they can trust him, and he's going to be honest. He said, I'd rather a player be mad at me for 2 weeks than not trust me the rest of his career.
And that's a good mentality. You got to love that from the coach. It's the way he's coached. He's very consistent with it. And Calfusi would be smart to listen to that admonition.
2-minute warning with the Ravens in front by 3 on the Ravens Game Day Network. 2 minutes to play, opening half. Ravens in front by 6. Bronson Calfusi, 5 tackles and 2 sacks. And he's one of those guys who has to be thinking, is it too late? Or is it just enough at the right time? Former 3rd-round pick. Hasn't had a huge camp, but he's having a huge night.
And a change of position for him. So I think that factors in as well in terms of going to the outside. And he's probably somebody else didn't want to take a chance on it.
Kevin Hogan laid out on 3rd and long. His pass is caught at the 10-yard line. Coming down with it, Simmie Cobbs. A flag is down, and this might be a hit to the head of Kevin Hogan. The start of a 39-yard gain.
Roughing the passer, defense number 54. Half the distance penalty added to the end of the run. 1st down.
Tyus Bowser penalized. Take another look.
Yeah, and he at the timing of that, it looked like he hit low. I don't think it was late. Now, unless he gave a little impetus at the end. But boy, I thought, didn't look like, let's see if he hits the helmet. Now it's the lowering of the helmet possibly. I mean, hit him in the sweet spot. It was below the chin, above the hips, above the knees. Unless it was the lowering of the head that did it. Boy, I don't know.
But he didn't call the illegal helmet hit.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
That looked like a beautiful defensive play. Instead, it is a 1st and goal for the Redskins in the Grill Mates red zone. Back to the eye. Rob Kelly on the carry. Trying to bend it to the outside, and he will get to the goal line, but a flag is down. And likely a hold that will negate the touchdown.
Yeah, anytime you see a run bounce outside like that, it's hard for the lineman not to just reach out and get that last little hold.
During the run, holding, offense number 41. 10-yard penalty, replay 1st down.
Yeah, just on, you can see right here, just bounce out 41 right here. He's going to see he's got to the outside. So, yeah, it got probably a little bit of jersey there. Face value didn't look like a whole lot. They likely got a little bit of jersey with it.
Gives Wink Martindale's defense a second shot in the Grill Mates red zone as it backs the Redskins up to the Ravens 15. Under 2 minutes to play in the opening half. Hogan delayed a handoff, and Rob Kelly is buried. Christian LeCouture, a rookie free agent out of LSU, in the backfield. And the Ravens will use a timeout, stopping the clock with 1:42 left in the half. Well, Brian, we were talking about the secondary. It is stacked, and of course they will not have Jimmy Smith to start the season. So typically you want to keep at least 4 safeties, 4 corners. They go way deeper than 8 here. Weddle, Jefferson, Humphrey, Carr, Tavon Young, they're all on the roster. I don't think there's any debate there. Kennedy, a player the Ravens really think highly of. Averett, a draft pick. Anthony Levine, a safety. Chuck Clark, a draft pick a year ago. Stanley Jean-Baptiste on the bubble. But with Jimmy Smith down to start the season, you keep 10 in the secondary.
Yeah, anything below the 8 is a plus to have that kind of ability on your team. The Ravens have it.
Hogan to throw, lobs to the end zone. It is broken up. Nice play by Jackson Porter, who got a hand on the ball and sets up a 3rd and goal for Washington.
Nice play by Porter. He didn't panic. A lot of times DBs will panic in that situation. He knew he had good position. He knew where the back of the end line is, and knew he had a position to reach up and knock it down. This is good. Little infighting going on. Nothing new about that. That's fine. Knew where he was. I can backpedal. Saw the arc of the ball. Nice play.
So the veterans, we saw Terrell Suggs working the sidelines. Eric Weddle trying to do some scheming for Wink Martindale on 3rd and long. Capri Bibbs is taken to the turf. Bronson Calfusi there again.
Well, we're seeing, so you said Coach Martindale said you got to raise your level of play. He's doing it here. That was a pure effort play by Calfusi. Up past the quarterback, chase that thing down from behind. He's trying to get some people's attention, both here and around the league tonight.
You talked about Calfusi switching positions. He's on the edge this year.
Watch him run this down. A lot of energy. You get pushed past, you can kind of go, okay, I've done my job. Nice effort by Calfusi.
They had him as an interior lineman when he was first drafted. Kind of got lost in the shuffle there, but tonight starting to shine on the edge. And he forces Tress Way on to attempt a 32-yard field goal try. To try to make this a 3-point game. There's a flag down. Going to back the Redskins up 5 more.
False start. Offense number 66. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
Tressway will now be looking at a 37-yard field goal try. Check that. Dustin Hopkins. Right hash mark. Hopkins from 37. This one hooks wide left, no good. Had a little trouble with the exchange, and Hopkins hooked it wide left.
That's a great series for the defense. You give up the play, you get down to the 5-yard line or so, and you push them back to the 20. And the guy misses a field goal. That's a good series for this defense, even though they gave up some big plays.
The Ravens will take over at the 27-yard line. Jerry Rosberg, preseason or not, special teams coordinator, thrilled to see his unit not give up any points. Well, for each sack made by the Ravens defense during the 2018 season, Constellation will send one group of students to visit the Power Up exhibit at the Maryland Science Center. To learn more, visit BaltimoreRavens.com/sacks for science. Lamar Jackson on the run, has to heave it out of bounds into the Redskins bench on 1st down, so he avoids the sack. It sets up a 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, when and you'd love to give Lamar a chance to run a good 2-minute offense here. That outside roll is something a little different for a 2-minute. Usually a trap, a draw, a quick play out of the backfield. See if you can break something to get the drive started.
I'd love to know what Eric Weddle is scheming with Wink Martindale.
Saying if I take the 495, is that going to be faster than if I go up on Route 23?
Lamar Jackson trying to figure out if running's going to be faster than throwing. Running works as he crosses the 40-yard line and steps out of bounds at the 41, stopping the clock with 1:15 left in the half on a 14-yard gain and a 1st down.
Yeah, this is against man coverage, so you can see Lamar Jackson recognizing, man, this is the big play you're looking for. So now you're sitting here, you got a timeout left, you got a first down, you need about 25 yards to make a doable kick, and so they're in great position to run their 2-minute offense.
Jackson out of the shotgun, slings it sidearm, incomplete. It hit Thompson in the hands and he couldn't control it. Now, Lamar Jackson did something there that a lot of quarterbacks can't do. He changes his throwing slot, drops it down to sidearm, and throws a strike.
Yeah, that's just playing street ball, and you got to have that ability. Long arm kid. He didn't pull it down and just run, which is a good thing. Step up. Now watch, he just kind of sidearm there. Just was going to kind of flick it.
Could have been a big play, but Thompson left it on the ground. 2nd down and 10. Pocket collapsing. Jackson's throw sailed high. He was looking for DeVere Posey. Now the Ravens staring at a 3rd and 10 with 1:05 left in the opening half. Marty Morningwig saw Jackson open this game with a 13-play touchdown drive. He'd love to see him close out the half with points as well.
Now we're going to see what kind of trust they have in Lamar Jackson, all but in the preseason. They just hand off a draw or a quick trap, or do they let him make a throw down the field? You run the risk of an interception, giving the Redskins time, obviously, to make a drive. Let's see what kind of faith they have in Jackson.
From the pocket, Jackson's pass is caught, but shy of the first down. Mark Thompson on the reception. The punt team comes off. So they show faith in him. Did you like the fact that he didn't go down? He didn't just gamble downfield, or
sure. This is all part of the learning process, and the fact that they were willing to do that. Oh, but with the 5th preseason game, I get that. He took a look down the field. Probably, I can imagine Coach Morningwig in his ear going, "Can't throw a pick. Can't throw." Now it's tough to tell a quarterback, "Oh, go get it, son.
Right.
Go complete the pass." But whatever you do, throw a pick. But he took a look, didn't like it, and dropped the ball off.
Corey Vedvik, who has hit a pair of field goals in the opening half, on the punt. Greg Stroman deep for Washington, and the Ravens are going to take a timeout.
Well, why not? Go and let it burn, because you're going to let it
3rd,
bring the clock down as far as you possibly can.
30 seconds.
They'll only leave the Redskins with about 16 seconds left here in the opening half. As we look to the future and the month of October and the 2nd quarter of the upcoming regular season, the Browns here in Baltimore, a very different Browns team, a team that is stacked with talent. The Tennessee Titans on the road. I stand corrected, the Browns in Cleveland, then the Titans on the road, the Saints at home, and the Panthers
right now
on the road. So 3 out of 4 games in October on the road. That is a challenge. Vedvik gets it off, end over end punt. Stroman fields it with a fair catch. And October has been a challenging month for the Ravens in the John Harbaugh era. Winning record every month of the regular season except for October.
Well, when you're 3 out of 4 on the road, that's a tough one. You got a New Orleans Saints team, all but here, which is good. But that's a team, a lot of people, given what they did last year, says that they were much better on defense. Drew Brees is Drew Brees, a future Hall of Famer. They're running the ball well. They've made some pickups in the offseason. And then to have to go on the road and play a very physical Carolina team. So that's going to be a tough October for the Ravens.
I think Lamar Jackson's work for the night might be done. Redskins are going to take a snap and then take off for the locker room at halftime, with the Ravens in front 13-7. Lamar Jackson started this game with a 13-play touchdown drive. Corey Vedvik with a pair of field goals, rounding out the scoring here in the first half. Bronson Calfusi with a big night on defense. And that's where we stand at halftime. 13-7 Ravens on the Ravens Game Day Network. 7 Ravens in front of the Redskins. Lamar Jackson's half of work is his night of work. He is done. Now we will hand things off to Josh Woodrum. And Brian, what do you expect from Josh Woodrum and the Ravens in the second half?
Well, it's at this point, it's get out of the game. I think you'll see a lot of runs. It's not going to be real complicated. Both teams want to kind of finish the night, finish the preseason, be able to move to the business at hand. There's still some evaluation going on, probably as much on special teams as we're going to see as offense and defense.
And then, of course, next week, the Ravens get things started against the Buffalo Bills, and it's quickly into the division when they play Cincinnati. Let's take a look at the AFC North this year. Other than the Cleveland Browns 0-16 a year ago, there's no way the Browns are that bad this year. They have so much young talent, so that would seem to set up a tougher division than ever.
Yeah, I say, the Steelers need to live up to the unlimited potential. I've chosen them to go to the Super Bowl the last 2 years, and typical of the Steelers, they've let me down, the Bengals, they're going to go as Andy Dalton goes, and can they make that jump and get back to respectability? With when you're 1-31, there's only one place to go but up. They got to be better than what they've been, and they will be. So, obviously the division, we'll see how many teams come out of the division and get into the playoffs. But again, I think the Ravens and the Steelers are going to be the ones that are battling it out for the division.
With more on the AFC North, let's head down to the field and Evan Washburn.
Well, guys, as you know, I was able to make my way through a number of these AFC teams over the course of training camp, about half the AFC. And the one thing that was a consistency was that there is no real sort of alpha team. Obviously, New England and Pittsburgh continue to be that dominant storyline. But having been at their training camps, there's still a lot of question with both of those rosters. For Pittsburgh, it's Le'Veon Bell. When and what will he look like when he returns? And for New England, they're still sorting out a lot of their wide receiver and their offensive question marks, if you will. The one thing, though, guys, is that AFC West and then the NFC South, which the Ravens will see, in my opinion, are two of the most challenging divisions in the league this year.
All right, Evan, that's what in front for John Harbaugh and his coaching staff. The mood, the focus shifts dramatically after tonight. And it is all about first stop, get down to 53, and then second stop, get ready for Buffalo and the 2018 regular season. And what a great way for the season to start with the team the Ravens let back into the playoffs a year ago. The heartbreaking loss by the Ravens in Baltimore against Cincinnati that left the door open. The Bills get in the playoffs, and now the storyline resumes here in Baltimore.
I don't think the Ravens are getting any special favors from Buffalo. They're going to appreciate it, but it's okay. Thank you, but now we're going to try to beat you.
Andy Dalton did get a huge ovation and an official welcome in Buffalo this year, the preseason, as Corey Vedvik's second half kickoff sails out of the back of the end zone. When the Bengals played in Buffalo this preseason, they had a special mini ceremony for Andy Dalton, thanking him for pulling off the miracle play that beat the Ravens that led the Bills into the playoffs.
And if it goes according to the way they're talking about it, Josh Allen, a promising young rookie, his first start is going to be on the road against the Baltimore Ravens. I don't, to me that's you gotta know the coach got good news, got bad news. Good news is you're our starter. Bad news is we're on the road against the Ravens. Okay, so buckle it up quick, because you're going to learn what it is to be a pro real quick.
Kevin Hogan remains in at quarterback for the Redskins. Hands it off to Samaje Perine for a short game. Still some talented young players on the field for this Ravens defense, including Bronson Calfusi, Carl Davis, another defensive tackle, former draft pick who's had a nice summer, and Patrick Ricard up front.
Ricard's he's getting a lot of work today. And this is the part of the roster where now you get worried. You want that clock to run because you don't want anybody to get hurt just for the sake that you don't want to get hurt. You don't want to buy anybody that you didn't plan on making this team. And it gets to be a long, hot night at this point.
We have seen one injury tonight. Stanley Jean-Baptiste. Hogan running out of time, has to turf the ball in the vicinity of his running back, Perine. And guess who was in the backfield with him? Bronson Calfusi.
He's making the most of his night. There's no question about that. We talk about coming into a game where you need to underline some things, and we've seen both ends of it. We've seen Rashard Perriman maybe not give his best effort in terms of showing other people what he might do. On the other end of the spectrum, we've seen a Calfusi that's showing, hey, if not here, some of y'all need to be looking at me because I can play in this league.
Thought highly of him 3 years ago, making him a third-round draft pick out of BYU. Hogan on third down, slings it to the far sideline, incomplete. Darius Williams had the coverage. The punt team comes on for the Redskins. Now we'll see Tressway. Darian Grant will handle the punt return here. This is one of the battles that is still unsettled. Tim White and Darian Grant battling for the return job and likely that fifth wide receiver spot. If you keep five, you have to think it's going to be the guy who's your punt returner.
White only did so much in the first half with it. We'll see what Grant can do now. Well,
lefty backs Grant up to the 10. Sidesteps one tackler, gets past two, and will get no farther than that, out to the 21-yard line. A 10-yard return for Darian Grant. Back to the social media feed. A question coming in for you, Brian. How is keeping 3 quarterbacks on the roster going to affect the depth in the other positions? It is dominoes.
There's no question about it. You got a 53-man roster. The pie only gets cut up 53 ways. And if you've got to hold, that's why the Ravens haven't had a third quarterback since 2010, because they've been able to keep some guys on the roster that can, whether it's just a 20-snap special teams guy or depth at a given position. So keeping 3 quarterbacks does come at a price.
Quarterback change for the Ravens as Josh Woodrum takes over, hands it off to Lance Turner, who continues to show some amazing quicks. Wide receiver has 2 questions. The first question is, do you keep 5 or 6, or as you hinted, 4? And the second question is, who makes the slots?
Well, and I imagine they're going to keep a minimum of 5, but you look at it, even a guy like Chris Moore, who's been a good, solid player for them. But again, I keep coming back to the depth you have on the defensive line in the secondary. And you've got to be real reticent to let a player, a good player leave compared to a player that's not as good simply because the position dictates it.
We just showed you Jordan Lastly, the 5th-round pick in this year's class. Josh Woodrum throws complete to Darren Waller, who is carried out of bounds.
Waller's an interesting story. This is a guy that the coaches are talking about his athletic ability and what he has shown. You throw in obviously Hurst and Andrews, Boyle, who we didn't see tonight, Max Williams. Again, that goes to the depth we're talking about. A lot of teams take a mentality you can't have enough tight ends because they're the right body type. They're that 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", 245, 250 that can plug into so many special team situations.
Jay Gruden has thrown the challenge flag.
Washington is challenging the ruling on the field of a completed pass. Play is under review.
And the play will likely be overturned because Waller was carried out of bounds. He didn't get 2 feet or 2 body parts down inbounds. And I'm not sure he had possession of the ball as he came down with it. So that's not going to stand as a reception. The official review brought to you by Toyota. We'll get the official word when we come back. 3rd quarter, Ravens up 6 on the Ravens Game Day Network. Referee Sean Smith taking a long look at what was ruled a reception for Darren Waller, but is likely going to be overturned. He didn't have either foot in bounds in the ball. He did not have possession of. So you don't need a long review to figure out that doesn't meet the basic criteria for a catch.
I wonder if because we already talked about it, every team's playing, so it's a long night back in New York. I wonder if they let the referees have more of a. We don't have eyes on it. You figure it out. You go ahead. We got a bunch of other calls going on right now.
Either that, it's press 1 for a customer service representative.
After review, the ruling on the field has been changed to an incomplete pass. It would be Baltimore's ball, 3rd and 7, on the 24-yard line. Game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 13 minutes, 11 seconds. Washington won the challenge. They will not be charged a timeout.
Now that's an easy one, but it does raise one of the big questions this year is how they will officiate the catch with the new catch rule, which is fairly straightforward. You have to have both feet in bounds.
Right.
Then you have to take either a 3rd step or make what they call a football move. Right. Talk to me about what a football move is.
Well, that's the ambiguity that we keep talking about, that a football move, the touchdown that was negated in the Pittsburgh game, the Des Bryant catch against the Green Bay Packers, I think in today's rule would have been ruled a football move, which I agree with. If you have enough of a possession of the ball that you can at any point reach out, you got it into the body and you are reaching it out, to me that's possession. That's a football move. So this one obviously was clear cut. This is going to be called under any rule in terms of an incomplete pass, but they do hope to have simplified it. We'll see if it indeed is that simple.
After the Woodrum incompletion on 3rd down, Corey Fedvig's punts taken shy of the 30-yard line by Trey Quinn, and he's ushered out of bounds at the 34. And I did some homework, and I found out the way you say "well done" in Norwegian, Bra Jorts. Of Corey Vedvik. Down on the field, and Evan with more on not Brajort, but on hopefully a more compelling topic.
Well, let's stay with the catch rule, Jerry. And actually, earlier this week, I was up in New York and got to sit in on a officiating session led by Al Riveron, who is the voice in New York that all these replays are going through. And Brian's exactly right. The ground is no longer the enemy here as long as the football move or that second foot or third foot is put down. So the plays where the guy falls to the ground, the ball kind of dislodges, as long as they've checked off those boxes, a football move or a third foot down, they're in good shape.
Although I did have someone tell me, you mean only people with 3 feet can catch the ball in the NFL right now? You have to have a third foot to be. I said, I don't think that's quite what we're talking about, but you got the general idea.
Bronson Calfusi pick it up in the third quarter where he left off in the first half. In on the tackle.
Yeah, he's making a statement tonight, one way or the other, and that good for him. He recognizes what this is. You talked about the admonition coming from Coach Martindale saying you got to step it up. Well, he has stepped it up.
Love when a player is called out and answers the call. One of the nicest kids on the roster too. You really have to root for a kid like that. Short pass is broken up, incomplete. Darius Williams had the coverage. Nice coverage from the rookie free agent. And as the clock winds down, 12 minutes change here in the third quarter. You know all these young guys are looking at the clock. But if you're a kid like Wormley, who you know you're going to be on the roster most likely.
Run, baby, run.
Patrick Ricard, right, you want to run the clock, but if you're Zach Sealer, a 7th-round draft pick, you want as many plays as possible to make your mark. You've waited all preseason for this night. This is your chance. Hogan's pocket collapsing. His pass is complete out across the 45-yard line, and that is good for a Washington first down. Anthony Averett on the coverage with the tackle. 4th-round draft pick.
And this is part of this young man's part of the depth we talked about. You know, this guy is a legitimate player. He can go into the slot as well. The coaches talked about the impression he has made on them.
John Harbaugh has thrown the challenge flag. You know, we talk about, okay, it's the 5th preseason game. It doesn't matter.
Baltimore is challenging and ruling on the field of a completed pass. Players under review.
And yet here you are in the second half. Both coaches have thrown a challenge flag. The competitive juices take over.
Got to practice that too, though.
Coordination with the booth and the challenge flag. John Harbaugh challenging whether or not the Redskins' first down will stand. We'll find out when we get back on the Ravens Game Day Network. So we've had a chance to take a look at this official review brought to you by Toyota. And Brian, it looks like it's a good challenge by the Ravens because Darby Kidsey never has full possession of the ball, and then the ball touches the turf.
Correct. And he had possession and taken that second, third step you talked about. Might have said possession was established, but there he didn't have full possession into that second and third step, and the ball hit the ground.
Anthony Averett helping to force the ball free. Sean Smith, the referee.
You know, coaches got to practice this stuff too. You know, in the preseason. That's seriously. I mean, you know, the communication. Obviously, somebody above saw that. I don't know that they had the angle to see that.
After review, the ruling on the field has been changed to an incomplete pass. It'll be 4th down and 9 at the 36-yard line. Game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 12 minutes, 10 seconds. Baltimore won the challenge and will not be charged a timeout.
Or it just could have been a well-calculated, because I don't know that they had that quickly. It didn't come from the field in terms of challenging it. You never listen to the player. That's you can never do that. I don't know that we saw it up in the booth, so it may have just been a well-calculated risk on John Harbaugh's part. Going 3rd down and long, they converted it. Yeah, let's challenge it.
Tim White, the punt returner for the Ravens, in a big-time battle for a job with Janarian Grant. Way with a monster punt. And Tim White will let that one bounce so he doesn't get anything in the way of an edge on Janarian Grant. Back to the social media feed. And a question coming in for Brian. With the impressive preseason Anthony Averett has been having, how much action do you think he could have come the regular season?
Well, I don't think there's any question. All the DBs that are going to make this roster are going to see action. You know, with the game, the way the game is spread out, that you're going to have 4 and 5 corners, I mean even 6 corners on the field at a given time. I talked to a defensive coordinator the other day that they're going to major in a 3-3-5 defense, basically. You know, that doesn't add up. 3-3-5 defense, meaning they're going to have 5 DBs, combination of safeties and corners, in on virtually, even in base, on a regular basis. So, yeah, anybody that's on this roster is a DB. It's you're going to get some playing time, not the least of which is special teams.
Mark Thompson with a 14-yard run on first down as the Ravens get their drive started with just under 12 minutes left to play in the half. And as the game has become, by rule, a passing game, it makes sense that the defense has to change. It's no longer just a 4-man front, a 4-3 defense.
Yeah. And Wink Martindale told us that he thought that those percentages, when I presented that to him, that was just a view of one coordinator I had talked to. He says, yeah, that's probably about right. And so it is adapting, and your rosters are affected by it.
Pass is complete to Devere Posey, and Posey's out close to the 40-yard line with another Ravens first down on a 15-yard gain. Posey, not a guy we've talked about a great deal, but a former draft pick of the Houston Texans, a CFL championship MVP a year ago. Just gives you an idea how hard it is to land a job in this league.
Yeah, you could be the MVP, the receiving MVP of the Canadian League, and have a tough time making a roster in the NFL.
Darren Waller in a tight end comes in motion. Mark Thompson will carry. Running behind the tight end Vince Bailey, and Thompson breaks free across midfield, heading to the far side. Sheds a tackler and is tripped up at the 30-yard line. A 33-yard run for the former Florida Gator.
And I want you to watch Jordan Lastly. Watch it. Obviously, he cuts his back. We got on Brashard Perriman for not putting his effort in the block. Nice cutback, but I want you to watch 17 Lastly here. If we can get him in the camera angle. Watch. There, stays alive, pushing it, sprinting to get to that next level in case he can come out of it. Nice job by the receiver Lastly.
And those, as you can see, are the things coaches notice. Lance Turner in the backfield. Josh Woodrum wants to throw. His pass is off the mark. He was looking for Janarian Grant. Second down. Under 10 minutes to play, third quarter. Ravens in front, 13-7. Tonight's Ravens Game Day Network presented by Geico. Well, a lot of the young players who have been on the bubble and those who have not even quite made it to the bubble are getting a lot of time to put a game on tape that they can shop around the league. Second down, the give is to DeLance Turner. Hops over a couple of tacklers, trying to get to the edge. Turner does get to the edge before getting shoved out of bounds at the 20-yard line. So DeLance Turner, the rookie free agent from Alcorn State, a 65-yard touchdown run last week. He had a 30-yard run in the first half. 8 carries, 77 yards tonight.
Yeah, this young man's been impressive the last 2 weeks. You know, at a position that obviously is in need of depth around the league. Very impressed. This is a big, strong guy. But it's, and you saw the speed last week, but the side-to-side movement that he has, it's outstanding.
At the very least, you'd like to see him on your practice squad, wouldn't you?
Oh, absolutely.
Turner right up the middle. He'll cross the 20-yard line, and that's good for a first down as he puts it in the Grillmates red zone. Jerry Sandusky, Brian Billick live from the Verizon broadcast booth. We head back to Twitter. And, Coach, the question coming from Slice and Rice. Who will help Alex Collins this year at halfback?
Well, we got a list of characters.
I didn't know we still called him halfback.
Yeah, right. You know, Buck Allen has been Ken Dixon, and when John Harbaugh was talking about the running back position, he liked the difference in Alex Collins and Ken Dixon, the physicality of a Ken Dixon compared to what they're going to get out of Alex Collins. They want to use Alex Collins more out of the backfield in the receiving game, and then you got you got these 2 big backs. Both what we've seen tonight with Mark Thompson has had an impressive night up to now. We just talked about Turner, good, both physical backs. So this, whether it's a developmental squad.
Illegal use of the hands to the face. Defense number 34. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Ravens happy to take that.
But to finish the thought, that depth at the running back, let's remember how important it was to get the running game going last year. They did that. They've got good depth with diversity in the running game with both size and athleticism.
The Ravens have an international roster this year. Coming to the sideline is a fullback, rookie free agent from Germany named Chris Isola, seeing his first game action this preseason, essentially moving from what would be the equivalent of German high school football to the NFL as part of the international development movement by the NFL.
First team charge timeout, Baltimore, 30 seconds.
And Isola will be on the practice squad this year for the Ravens. Each team in the AFC North will have one international player on their expanded practice squad this year. John Harbaugh telling us that Isola has all the tools. He's a big physical kid, but you can imagine the intellectual complexity he's running into playing football at essentially a high school level in Germany to the NFL. Can you imagine making that leap, and the language barrier?
But what a great opportunity for the young man to be around the NFL and give himself. Obviously, he's looks to be a physical specimen. A little winded right now, so he's got to get used to playing on a regular basis.
I don't know that it's this humid in Germany.
Yeah.
First and 10 Ravens in the Grill Mains red zone. The Redskins 14. Josh Woodruff trying to put it in the end zone. Slings it complete to the 5, and Vince Mailey in for a touchdown. So on the evening conversation line of players on the bubble, Vince Mailey, a backup tight end, has been over the last year one of their most consistent, proficient special teams players. He's not going to make this roster as a tight end. He doesn't have the Hayden Hurst ability to be a seam ripper deep down the middle of the field, but dependable hands and an extremely good special teams player. Is that enough to get onto the 53?
Let's go back to our conversation about the wide receivers and you carry forward the special team implication to get the fifth guy. If you have some guys like this, I told you earlier about the tight end body type that you'd like to have for special teams. Yeah, you could start having that conversation about limiting the number of receivers, going deeper in the tight end. If this guy can be on the outside and make plays like that, you could justify keeping him as a wide receiver as opposed to one that's listed in a position.
The Geico scoring drive, 7 plays, 92 yards, 3.5 minutes. Vince Mailey, the backup tight end, putting it in the end zone.
Yeah, this is a nice throw. It lets him catch it hand high, allows him to tuck it and run. There again, this is a tight end type body that's suited to be on the outside, which means he's also suited for special teams. So even though we haven't seen a lot of him during preseason, he's one of these hybrid players that could become very vogue in what is becoming a hybrid league.
We'll take a look at how the tight end room breaks down after the Corey Vedvik kickoff. Vedvik with an effortless swing puts that ball out of the back of the end zone on the hop. Let's take a look at those tight ends and how many you might keep on that 53-man roster. Brian, do you keep all 5?
Well, you know the top 3 for sure, and probably 4. Max Williams, a second-round pick a few years ago. But this 5th one, I go back to my conversation about a guy that gives you special teams presence, could play out in the slot in receiver if need be, can play in line if you have to at the tight end position. Looks to be a good athlete. There's never been a tight end I didn't like. I love tight ends, and there's so much you can do with that personnel on the field. He certainly would fit it, as will this guy, Mark Andrews.
And don't forget Darren Waller, who's a former wide receiver, now on a tight end. Missed all of last year on suspension, but has shown some ability since returning. Big decisions to be made at that spot. Rob Kelly will carry the ball on first down. Hayden Hurst will likely miss the first couple of games with a foot fracture. They're projecting he misses the first 2, but I think you have to go into this season being more conservative than that.
Yeah, I mean, when you're talking about you don't want that to linger on. So if he can show up after the first 2 games in the regular season, that would be a huge plus. My guess is it might be just a little bit more.
As a head coach, is this game too late to have your mind changed? Are you just looking for confirmation, or are you looking to be wowed?
Yeah, it's a little like the combine, and I'll explain what I mean by that. When you go to the combine, which is obviously a totally different environment, make me do one of two. Make me go to the tape. In other words, if I've seen the guy on a tape at the combine and I'm not sure he can play, you go to the combine and he wows him in athleticism. Well, I got to whack and recheck the tape. Or vice versa, a guy that you're not quite sure, I didn't like the tape, or I love the tape, I love it. And then you come back and you see, God, he just doesn't move as well as thought. I got to go back and look at the tape. Well, same way. Maybe you, as a player, can do something to make the coaches, you know what, I got to go back and look at some of the practice tape. I got to go back and look at some of those plays he made in the preseason games, because I don't want to miss on this guy.
And it was Bronson Calpusi making a play on second down. As Hogan's pass is intercepted. Kai Nakua down the sideline into the end zone for a touchdown. A pick six for the former Cleveland Brown, and Eric Weddle is the one-man greeting committee. One of many men on the greeting committee for Kai Nakua.
Well, look at the way the players are reacting.
But you can tell he is well loved on this team.
And this is a brilliant interception. This is he anticipated. He jumped it. Weddle, I got a feeling Weddle had something to do telling the kid, look, if you see this or that. But boy, the way this team reacted to it, they must really like this kid, because this is a great. Look at that. He goes over the top. You couldn't have called that in basketball, let alone in football, in terms of a pass interference call. That was brilliant.
Made no body contact. They are reviewing to make sure he got in on a 23-yard return for a touchdown. And Kai Nakua, who was on the Browns roster a year ago, so he's a kid with a little bit of NFL experience. And again, he's trying to crack a lineup that is so deep in the secondary.
So I think Weddle's going to see. I told him.
Well, we saw Weddle throwing up on the board, right?
If you see this combination, and look at that. There's Weddle's. This is much Weddle's call. I guarantee you Weddle had something to do with that.
Touchdown stands, the extra point off the upright, but through it good. So a touch of luck for Corey Vedvik. Kai Nakua with a brilliant pick. Comes over the back, avoids contact, and takes off down the sideline for a touchdown. 27-7 Ravens on the Ravens Game Day Network. 57-7 Ravens in front of the Redskins midway through the third quarter. Kai Nakua played for the Cleveland Browns a year ago. Pick six, and gets the reception from Eric Weddle and the rest of his teammates. You can tell a guy is popular in the locker room and on the team when you get this kind of a reception after a big play. I mean, that was like euphoria.
Yeah, I mean, it's a penalty in a regular season game, maybe some fines. But Weddle was what was interesting to me. I guarantee he had something to do with this.
Well, we saw him in the first half drawing up a play. We'll take a look at that after the Corey Vedvik kickoff. Corey Vedvik takes the suspense out of a kickoff, doesn't he? We saw Eric Weddle drawing up a defensive scheme in the first half. We wondered what he was doing. You have to think he was coming up with something to school the young guys that, look, if they come out in this formation, in this situation, go over the back, grab the ball, and down the left sideline.
That's exactly what it is. You know, and this guy is a real professional. He's a joy to sit. Although that beard has got, I like this better than the other beard. He needs to get that thing.
Well, that was his beard on Tuesday. The beard you saw earlier today is already, no, I mean, it's grown that much. I mean, he can grow that beard in 3 days.
He shaved on Tuesday, and it's that way. Okay, I got you. But he's a joy to be around. He's a pro's pro.
Redskins will go to the ground game as the mantra becomes burn clock now. Rob Kelly spins forward for a couple. You could seek shelter on a rainy day beneath that beard, because you're not going to get wet underneath that thing.
And his wife can't like it. I mean, that's you do that. You're doing that with the objection of your wife. She can't be signing off on that.
Well, he did tell us this summer that he hasn't seen his wife and kids for 35 days.
Well,
so
that may, when he finally sees them, we may see that thing cut.
When she shows up, she might think he's in like the police protection program. Who are you? What have you done with my husband? Davion Smith on the carry, but when you see veterans like Eric Weddle that excited, Weddle shared with us in some production meetings this summer how much he loves to help bring young players along if they're willing to listen.
And he likes this group. He said right from the get-go, this group likes to listen. They're willing to learn. And he liked this group, and I guarantee you that had something to do with just that little bit of knowledge. Hey, if they do this, if this guy goes in motion, they're in this two-man combination, watch for that little quick out. And obviously took advantage of it.
3rd down and 5. We'll see if the Ravens secondary can come up with another pick. As Kevin Hogan tests the sideline, he's got a man wide open. Capri Bibbs with a big first down for the Redskins. Puts the ball out beyond the midfield stripe to the Ravens 44. Down to the field and Evan Washburn.
And guys, just with Weddle, this has been since game 1 of the preseason. Whenever he's not in the game, he has the headset in, the earpiece in, so he's hearing all the calls. And you mentioned and showed really well the play drew up, but I've seen Wink Martindale come over to Weddle a number of times with the play sheet. Tony Jefferson as well, he should be mentioned. That entire back end seems as engaged as these coaches in this game when they're not in there.
Davion Smith with a run down inside the Ravens 25-yard line, but a penalty flag back at the line of scrimmage. It is a good opportunity, though, for veteran players and a new defensive coordinator to spend some time in preseason on the sideline, getting to know how the defensive coordinator thinks.
Illegal use of hands to the face, defense number 59. 5-yard penalty added to the end of the run, automatic first down.
Miles Humphrey, the guilty party.
Well, and we talked to Eric Weddle about he's got to get used now to Wink Martindale's call, the pacing, why he calls what he calls. And Eric Weddle's at that stage in his career, he's earned that to have some input with it. So even though he's only played a handful, he's played 30, maybe 35, 40 snaps total, to listen to that with the headset, particularly in the game, to get used to the way the calls are coming in from Coach Martindale is important.
Wink Martindale says some of his veterans, like Eric Weddle, he'll give the power to change his call as long as they know they better make it work.
Yeah, you do that. That's all well and good, but boy, you better be right, brother. You changed one of my calls.
Bronson Calfusi with another tackle, this time on Davion Smith, who gets into the Grillmates red zone. With just 5 minutes even left to play in the 3rd quarter. Jerry Sandusky and the coach, Brian Billick, with you live from the Verizon broadcast booth, where the Ravens lead the Redskins 27-7. For Wink Martindale, it's been a very important preseason, getting a feel for the way he wants to call a game, getting a feel for his players, getting a sense for how he's going to use all of his players, and building that trust in the meeting room.
Yeah, and that's a big part of it, and just and the communication process and how you're going to communicate. They meet defensively as a whole. Very rarely, you do break up, but it's because you want the whole team. And it's special to the defensive side. Most offensive guys do a little bit different, but defensively, you want everybody to hear the corrections and the calls and why they're being called and why this DB was corrected. The linebacker may need to know that, and that's kind of the approach that a lot of teams take.
Patrick Ricard continues to soldier on at nose guard as the Redskins have it. 1st and goal from the Ravens 6. 4 minutes to play, 3rd quarter. Ravens up 20. Blitz pressure coming up the middle. Davion Smith will be tackled by Chris Wormley in the backfield for a loss. Back to Twitter with a question for the coach.
Yes, that's Coach Martindale. Oh, okay.
All right, Brian, besides Matt Judon, who do you think could be the Ravens' breakout player of the year?
Wow, that's a tough one. They're so disciplined. They've got so many good players. Obviously, you'd look at one of these guys from the outside. Maybe Tim Williams could be one. Again, you're talking about opposite Terrell Suggs and how that opportunity is going to present. You'd love to develop that. Now where do I set my protection, one side or the other?
Hogan's throw to the 1 is signaled touchdown. Well, that was a delayed touchdown signal coming from the sideline as Hogan's pass gets the Redskins on the board and a little bit closer. John Harbaugh taking a look to see if he concurs. It will be automatically reviewed.
Yeah, so you don't have to challenge this. You just have to see. Question is, did he have possession? Did the ball break the plane? Oh boy, I don't know that there's that's not I'm looking at the scoreboard right now. Obviously, that view doesn't show us. I'm also looking at the scoreboard. This one right here, man, it looks like the ball may have broken the plane.
In the regular season, that would be a call of enormous importance and stress. J.P. Holtz on the reception for the Redskins, who will try to make it a 13-point Ravens lead, presuming this touchdown call is upheld. Al Riveron and his crew in New York quite busy tonight. with all 32 NFL teams playing. Only week of the year you'll have every team in the NFL playing on the same night.
Yes, and that stretches them in New York. That's an impressive room if you have a chance to see it. This command center that they obviously are able to look at every call, and it's multiple people looking at multiple screens and groups per team. But so this one stretches them with everybody playing on the same night.
Dustin Hopkins' extra point attempt is good. And with 3:07 to play in the third quarter, it's 27-14, the Ravens in front of the Redskins. So time starting to wind down, decisions starting to crank up, and over the next 2 days, the Ravens will begin to cut down the roster. When you go from 90 to 53, it's not like the old days when week by week you would trim it down.
Right.
That's a lot of guys to move through the head coach's office with bad news.
It is, and it's a blur. And unfortunately, the bad side of it is you really can't spend as much time with the players. When we used to break it down earlier, you could I think it was 75 before the final cut. Well, that was a lot easier than to orchestrate those bodies and be able to move them out. But with this many bodies, it's tough. You're not going to be able to spend the time that you'd like to give them the respect that they're due. And it's fast and furious, and it comes. Plus, there's also those guys now you got to orchestrate to say, okay, we're going to clear, and if you clear waivers, we want to do developmental squad. I mean, there's a lot even beyond the final cuts that it's well into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday before the movement's finally done.
Janarian Grant trying to secure a spot on this Ravens roster as a returner. Hoping Dustin Hopkins gives him a returnable ball, which he does not. So as we take a look at the first half of a very large Ravens draft class, a class of 12 players, here are the top 6 players. Anybody here you think doesn't make this opening game roster?
Well, no, of course not. And you're looking at a starting tight end, quarterback situation we've talked a great deal about, a tackle that I don't know if he's going to have starting for you, but clearly can be a tackle in this league, a starting tight end, and 2 DBs, or a DB and a linebacker, that are going to have major contributions. Kenny Young maybe even being a starter for them this year. So that's a pretty good list right there.
Ozzie Newsome's last class, and it is a strong one. We'll take a look at the back 6 in just a moment. Largest draft class we've seen in some time here in Baltimore. Mark Thompson carries on first down for a 9-yard gain. Here's the back half of the Ravens draft class. Job not quite as secure. Jaleel Scott already headed to the IR list, so he's done for the year. Jordan Lastly, boy, there's a question mark there. Does he make it as that 5th wide receiver, the 6th wide receiver, or is he on the bubble?
Yeah, and Deshaun Elliott, we talked about going before he got hurt last week, unfortunately, just how great a job he did. Sanat, I think I'm pronouncing that properly, at the tackle position, shows some real promise. So Ozzie Newsome's got to be very, very proud, obviously, of obviously the entire organization, his coaching staff, and his personnel people, but very, very productive and effective final draft.
Sees his rookie free agent running back DeLance Turner extend the drive for the offense, picking up a first down. For Ozzie Newsome, the career span has been amazing. It started with drafting Jonathan Ogden. It ends on the draft room board with Zach Sealer, 7th-round draft pick, who's had a nice camp but could make this roster as a guy who provides some depth along the defensive line. Has there ever been a GM who opened up with 2 Hall of Famers and closes with a guy who makes the roster?
Yeah, and boy, did a little pressure on that kid, isn't it? Hey, I'm a Hall of Fame general manager, and by the way, you're my last pick, so don't let me down.
For Ozzie Newsome, 4 decades in the NFL, 2 Super Bowl rings with the Ravens, a 1-time NFL Executive of the Year, the first African-American general manager in the NFL's history. I think that is extremely significant because Ozzie is so humble and so low-key.
Right, you don't hear about it.
You don't hear about it.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you, when I came to Baltimore, I did not know Ozzie. Denny Green, obviously my mentor. And Denny was like the good recruiting parent. He wasn't going to tell me what I should or shouldn't do. But he said from the get-go, he said, I will tell you this, you're going to love working with Ozzie Newsome. And he was right. It was a great partnership, and Ozzie, he's the best. And like I said in the warm-up, can you go in the Hall of Fame twice? I think they should. Just as he's already in there, you don't need to do the bus thing, but at least register that in the Hall of Fame, because he certainly has had a Hall of Fame career as a general manager.
The only resource where Ozzie has been underserved in the castle is every tight end that has come through. I asked Mark Andrews if he had the chance to go and talk with Ozzie and pick his brain for some pointers as a tight end. Asked Hayden Hurst the same thing. I've asked Todd Heath that, Dennis Pitta, all the way back to every tight end that's ever played. And to a man, they have sheepishly said, no, I'm kind of intimidated to go talk to Ozzie.
And Ozzie, to Ozzie's credit, not that you would have, welcomed any comment that he might want to give to any player, really, but certainly he's a Hall of Fame tight end. But Ozzie would have felt like that was an intrusion. He wouldn't want to intrude on the position coach, the coordinator, or the head coach. Like, that's not. And Ozzie, having been a coach, having been a scout, having done just about everything that you can do in the organization, has a healthy respect for the obligations of everybody in the jobs they have to do.
Ravens offensive lineman Randon Cornelius shaken up on the play. He'll come to the sideline. And now Ozzie in this last year obviously is hoping for all great things, and then they will transition where Eric DeCosta, the longtime assistant general manager who has really grown up under Ozzie Newsome, will take over the GM spot. Part of the success in this Ravens legacy, every defensive coordinator has worked for the previous defensive coordinator, and now the next general manager will have worked extensively under the former general manager. The longevity, the transition style set the Ravens apart in the NFL.
It does. In a league that the NFL stands for not for long, that kind of continuity is a reason why the Ravens are the organization they are.
And that brings us to the end of the third quarter. 1 quarter left in the preseason for John Harbaugh and the Ravens. One last shot to pop the bubble and make the roster. The Ravens in front of the Redskins on the Ravens Game Day Network. Start of the fourth quarter, Ravens in front by 13. Probably a fairly even stack of numbers for this final preseason game. 2 turnovers the difference.
Yeah, no question. You look at this during the regular season, you say that's exactly the reason that you had the win, which looks like they may get tonight, because of the 2 turnover differential. But that's
now a 1 turnover
less.
differential. Intercepted by Ranthony Tejada, and he returns it to the 40-yard line of the Ravens. That was a well-thrown ball by Josh Woodrum, but it caromed off DeVere Posey and into the hands of the Redskins defensive back. A late flag thrown, and a Ravens player shaken up at the end of that play. Posey coming all the way across the field.
That's all on the receiver there. That's tough, and it's going to go on the quarterback's numbers. Actually, a very, very well thrown ball. And you're likely to get a holding penalty maybe on the return. That typically is what happens once you transition into a turnover.
And if you're DeVere Posey,
there's no foul on the play. The block in question was deemed legal.
Yeah,
First
now
down.
you can't block below the waist coming back, and evidently they decided it wasn't.
if you're DeVere Posey, you know that you may have just sealed your fate on that one. A well-thrown ball by Josh Woodrum. Instead of a first down, it turns into a turnover. The first turnover the Ravens have committed tonight. And it gives the Redskins the ball at the Ravens 42. Fourth quarter of tonight's broadcast brought to you by Toyota. But Hogan remains it at quarterback. Davion Smith on a short carry for 2. Patrick Ricard right there blowing things up at the line of scrimmage, along with Zach Sealer. So Patrick Ricard is about as old school as they come. You almost feel like you should be watching in black and white when you watch a kid like this. He's like a 1950s two-way player.
Kelly Gregg.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's bigger than Kelly was, but whatever you need. You got to love Kelly Gregg and the fact that whatever you needed him to do, and Ricard looks to be the exact same. Whatever you want me to do, I'll play tackle, I'll play fullback. You can put me on the goal line on tight end.
Hogan off the play action. Ricard applying pressure, and so too is Chris Wormley, who drills Hogan into an incompletion. Chris Wormley's had a big preseason. Part of the tremendous depth on that defensive line for Wink Martindale to have that kind of depth up front, and now some really impressive talent emerging next to C.J. Mosley, with the combination of Pino Owasso and Kenny Young. We've talked about the edge pass rush pressure from this Ravens defense, maybe the best in the NFL, and now deep in the secondary. If this defense stays healthy, it could be a top 10 defense. It should be a top 10
could
defense.
be a top defense in the league. They were 12th in the league last year. A lot of different ways to measure defense, but this could be league-leading defense if they stay healthy.
Matt Flanagan with a drop ball. Look, a drop ball is not the end of the world, but if it's the end of the last preseason game and you're a rookie free agent trying to make a team, a drop ball could literally be the end of your world.
It could. It just leaves a lasting taste in your mouth, a lasting impression that you see it as a coach. Like you say, it never comes down to just one play, but it doesn't help.
Puts the Redskins into a 4th and 8. Kevin Hogan has gone the entire way, quarterback for the Redskins. Under pressure, going deep. Looking goal line, and it is incomplete. Darius Williams breaking it up. He was looking for the pick. It's much to his advantage to get the incompletion. But when you're a rookie free agent in your final preseason game, you're going for the stat. Ravens offense back on the field when we get back. Ravens lead at 27-14 on the Ravens Game Day Network.
Ravens football is brought to you by M&T Bank, proud to be the official bank of your Baltimore Ravens. By Geico, 15 minutes can save you 15% or more on car insurance. By Verizon, the official wireless voice, internet, and cable service provider of the Baltimore Ravens. By MedStar Health, proud to be the official medical team of the Baltimore Ravens. And by Advanced Business Systems, official business solutions provider to the Baltimore Ravens.
Ravens fans, enter for a chance to become the Southwest Airlines captain of the game at BaltimoreRavens.com, and you can be on the field with the team captains for the coin toss, all in your own custom jersey, plus a whole lot more. Jerry Sandusky and the coach, Brian Billick, with you live from the Verizon broadcast booth at M&T Bank Stadium. 13:44 left in the preseason. Ravens in front and with the ball. They lead it by 13. Mark Thompson sweeping. Taken down after a very short gain. Want to extend our congratulations to Ravens PR man Patrick Gleason and his wife Erin on the birth of their first child, baby boy Jackson Michael Gleason, born earlier this week. Now that's a football family. When you are smart enough to know your first child, if it's going to be born in football season, it can't be born on game day. It has to be born in preseason.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's just a good football wife.
Congratulations to Patrick and Erin on the expansion of their family and arrival of their first child. Mark Thompson arriving out at the 48-yard line. He'll set up a 3rd down and 2. So much work has led up to this point. Draft back in April, then the OTAs, offseason conditioning, mini camps, veteran mini camps, training camps. Next 2 days, he gets cut down. Rookies like Mark Andrews join the 53-man roster, and a new team is formed. Every year it's a new team, a new culture, a new hope, same ambition, but it's a new team. And then that team has to gel quickly because the stakes just, they get super high super fast.
I always enjoyed that first practice when you get through the cuts, because you come out and obviously the numbers are dramatically different, but it felt right. It felt like, okay, we're at fighting weight now. Okay, this is the group we're going to battle with, and you go forward, and the transition is quick, but when it gets down into that workable number, the practices, they're very focused now on an opponent, very specific. It just it feels good to be able to move on to the task of the day after what, as John talked about, this has been a long preseason between going, because the extra preseason game, they came in earlier than any other team in the league. This is just, and he played the veterans very well in terms of the players. Every one of them told us how much they appreciated the fact that the way it was approached, the time off that they had, that they didn't wear them out because it was going to be a long camp. As evidenced last week in the Miami game, where so many of the starters sat down. So it has been a long camp. Everybody will take a deep breath, and it's time to go at it for real.
For real starts a week from Sunday here in Baltimore against the Buffalo Bills. The preseason, late turn here. It'll be 5 straight wins. Once again, an undefeated preseason for John Harbaugh's Ravens. It started in Canton against the Bears. It concludes tonight in Baltimore against the Redskins. Corey Fedvik. End over end punt. It'll bounce and trickle out of bounds at the 20-yard line. Redskins ball when we get back. 11 minutes, 44 seconds left in the preseason with the Ravens in front, 27-14. 7-14, Ravens lead at fourth quarter. 11:44 left to play. Tonight's Ravens Game Day Network presented by Geico as we continue to take a look at the potential 53-man roster. The offensive line, Stanley Lewis, Scurry, Yonda, Brown, Hurst, set, solid. Illuminor, Bozeman a draft pick this year, Illuminor a draft pick last year, both very much on the fence. Neither has had a stellar preseason, the kind that says, okay, you're a lock to make the roster. So does that open the door for Ozzie to go shopping for veterans?
Very much so, and he's done that on the offensive line a good deal. And so the last two, and obviously Bozeman can go. You draft a guy on offensive lineman, he's going to be on the developmental squad. You always do that with offensive linemen. We could very well be seeing someone currently not on campus to round out the offensive line.
Which is usually part of the wrinkle to the 53-man roster, is that the guys we're talking about, there's usually one or two added to the mix. You know you're going to see a Orlando Brown Jr., but you don't know if you're going to see a Bozeman, a backup center who, as you said, could very well fit into the practice squad. But there's always that wrinkle that Ozzie has that nobody else sees, that suddenly a guy who was not a part of the preseason arrives and is not just a 53rd man, but is usually fairly significant in the game plan. First down, sack pressure applied, and it came from Chris Wormley and Bronson Calfusi.
Wow, this guy's having quite a game. I mean, he's making his best bid. He's going down with his boots on, so to speak, if indeed it doesn't turn out for the Ravens. But he's showing the energy tonight that I think Coach Martindale was talking about that they needed to see out of him on a more consistent. The athletic talent's there. There's no question about it.
Chris Wormley also enjoying a big night, a 3-sack night. Another sack for Science, powered by Constellation. Redskins will go to the ground game. They'll get the ball out to the 20-yard line as the clock continues to run. 11 minutes left in this final preseason game. Miles Humphrey making the stop. Rookie free agent out of Shepherd. Gotta believe when you play your college ball at Shepherd, I mean, no disrespect to a school like Shepherd, and then all of a sudden you're in an NFL training camp, you are seeing a caliber of player you are not used to tackling.
Yeah, that's an adjustment. And that has to be factored in as well. Is it just too big an environment right now? Does someone have the potential to grow into it? That's what your classic practice squad player is about.
Kevin Hogan slings it, intercepted. Robertson Daniel returns it to the 20. That'll be taken down at the 10-yard line. So the Ravens force their third turnover of the night. And they'll hand the ball back to the offense in great field position. And here comes the second line party from the sideline. Eric Weddle and friends there to shower Robertson Daniels with all kind of love. Marlon Humphrey in the mix. Brandon Williams.
And classic free safety play. Came out of the middle underneath coverage. Free to step in there and read the quarterback all the way. Look at him break on it right here. He broke on it before the receiver even knew the ball was headed there.
So a big pick puts the ball in the grill mates. Red zone, first and goal inside the 10. Josh Woodrum remains at quarterback. Mark Thompson, the running back, will get the carry. Thompson cuts it along the hash mark and is down to the 2.
And I'd be surprised if you see a pass in this series. It's going to be pound, pound, pound. Let that offense line show what it can do to push it into the end zone.
Mark Thompson trying to get over 100 yards. He has 12 carries, 92 yards. Very possibly his last game as a Raven. Might be a practice squad player. Get the carry from the 2, and he's down to the 1. Clock continues to wind. Just at 9.5 minutes left to play in this preseason finale.
Now you can see the big tight ends come in. Again, they're down in that. And this gets to be a scramble as well. Your depth guys that have played maybe for 3/4 of the game, you don't want to put them back into the game. Maybe they've been inactive. You put another player in. But now you get into your big personnel. So you activate a tight end maybe to come in where even though he has been down for a quarter or so.
Not sure why C.J. Mosley's doing burpees on the sideline. He may have lost a personnel bet. Thompson hit as he takes the handoff and is dropped for a loss back to the 2-yard line. No sign of the kicking team. They're going to go for it on 4th down. They'll go in with some wide receivers. Tim White and Jordan Lastly check in as the tight ends check out. White didn't have a chance to show much in the way of a returner tonight. See if he can get into the end zone as a receiver.
Now this is apt to be a run pass option here. Looks like yeah, they're waiting for a timeout here.
Baltimore's second charge timeout.
Only 6 seconds left on the play clock. Josh Woodrum knew he didn't have enough time to get the play executed, so he didn't want to get backed up on a 4th down and goal from the 2. Talk it over with Marty Morningwig.
And this is you know, it's the 5th preseason game, and Coach Harbaugh's, you know, it's kind of a, okay, we don't want to run the score up necessarily. Let's go ahead and back them up if we don't get this. And I take that back. Then he decided, no, what the heck, we'll go ahead and kick the field goal. It's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't. Well, yeah, why are you going to just run the score up in that way? Well, it's not. We got 8 minutes left in the game. I don't know what made them change their mind. I think to go ahead and kick the extra point rather than give the offensive lineman a chance to go for it. It looks like he and Martin are discussing it.
So Corey Vedvik will come on. My suspicion is John Harbaugh probably felt like he didn't want the Ravens looking like they were running the clock up by taking time out.
That's what I was referring to. You want to be a good sport about this.
So Vedvik's field goal is good. Now the Ravens extend their lead 30-14 in the 4th quarter. 4th quarter of tonight's broadcast brought to you by Toyota. 30-14, Ravens in front of the Redskins with 8:19 left to play. Brian, we've been looking at the potential 53-man roster position by position. The defense has been outstanding throughout the preseason, and the linebacking core might be the strength of this defense.
Yeah, and they've got depth at it. That's a big part of it. So hence, you know, trading away a career the way they did. Obviously, you know, the top 2 dogs, Suggs and Mosley. Judon is that absolute presence opposite of Suggs. Peanut versus Kenny Young. You listen to the coaches, and Awusa has been excellent. Owasso. Peanut. You know, but obviously Kenny Young, this guy has the athleticism that you love. Zadarius Smith and Tim Williams again can come off the edge, and the big surprise is obviously this Chris Board, what he was able to do coming out of a school like North Dakota. This is a good, talented, deep, versatile linebacking core.
Do they all make it? Does Chris Board make this roster?
Boy, probably. You know, there again, that gets into the dilemma. How many can I keep at other positions? I would hate to let a Chris Board go because I had to keep a quote-unquote number, say at the wide receiver
position. A 6th wide receiver.
Yeah, that we talk about. That's too good a talent to let walk off the roster.
And these are the conversations that take place back at the Castle after tonight's game. Corey Vedvik's kick will be another touchback. Talk about those conversations, Brian, when you sit down with Ozzie Newsome and the scouting staff and assistant coaches like Jerry Rosberg all get a voice. Do those ever get emotional? Do they ever get chaotic?
It gets tense at times. You know, Ozzie would always, I don't know if they still do it the same way. You'd look at the film, and not so much this game, but you look at the film as a coaching staff. He'll look at it with his scouts. Then you come together and you begin to talk it through. Because the scouts want to hear what the coaches have to say. Well, what about this guy? What about that guy? You don't have your entire scouting staff in for this meeting. You have, you know, Eric DeCosta and a couple key people. And you'll just vent it and you'll argue about it. I don't know if there's going to be a lot of argument. The hard part is when you're a position coach, let's say you're the receiver coach, and you know the numbers are going to be tough because you can see it too. You see the talent, and believe me, you want to protect your guys, but by the same token, gosh, do I really want to see a Chris Board leave this team and not be here? I mean, you can go down the list knowing that's going to affect this season. So, yeah, at the end of the day, you do what's right for the team, but it's your job to fight for your position as well.
For the guys who have worked for you all summer long, Redskins will pick up a 1st down on the run play. Clock continues to wind. 7 minutes and 41 seconds. You mentioned if you're the receiver coach, of course, Bobby Ingram and his wife suffering the tragic loss of their daughter. Bobby, a 20-year-old Towson University senior. Last night, Bobby Ingram had a chance to address the Ravens players and thank them for the outpouring of love and support that they have showered upon his family. John Harbaugh said it was such an emotional scene and such a powerful scene to see a coach and the players all bonding around the pain that that family is going through. It was a very moving scene through the eyes of head coach John Harbaugh. Redskins pass is completed. And now we are down to the short sticks on the clock. 7 minutes even left to play in this preseason. And Patrick Ricard continues to soldier on with Bronson Calfusi. I think they've taken every snap on defense.
Just looking in there and seeing Ricard in there, and what a great opportunity for him to really establish maybe a role for himself. Obviously, he's on the team, but in terms of certain packages that you could use for him during the course of the season.
Blitz pressure coming, and Hogan beats it with a completion to Darvin Kidsey. Puts the ball at the Ravens' 41-yard line.
Yeah, Wormley almost ran him down. Now that's a defensive tackle right there. Look at that helmet.
His striping is coming off the helmet. Yeah. The helmet looks like it's been in 4 car wrecks. It's got grass stains on it.
You got to clean that up before the regular season. You get to
man work. 1st and 10 Washington at the Ravens 41. Kevin Hogan continues to go the distance, and quarterback, his pass is complete to Sidney Cobbs. Cobbs will stay in bounds and stretch forward with a first down. Jackson Porter on the stop.
And this is interesting to me to watch, to see what Coach Martindale does. You know, does he go passive? Does he dial up one of the well-known Ravens pressures with this group, or do you just go, looks like here they're kind of configured in a basic 2-deep alignment, basically don't give up a big play.
Under 5.5 minutes left to play in this preseason. Pass deflected at the line and completed to Darvin Kidsey for a short gain. Just inside the 30-yard line, Chris Board, Bronson Calfusi.
And they're rolling those defensive linemen through a little bit just to kind of keep them fresh. Again, you're at the late part of the game. You don't want to pull up with cramps. It's a hot, humid night. These guys have had to have extended play because of the number of starters that you've put down. This is the nice thing. I love the fact that you've got a complete roster. One of the hardest things to do was when we had a 75-man roster going into the final preseason game. That put some pressure on players. You're going to get more injuries because of the number of plays, how many guys had to play an entire game that week.
Green pass is going to break it inside the 5, lunging for a touchdown, Davion Smith. A 28-yard touchdown catch and run for the rookie out of Michigan, and Wink Martindale none too happy to see his defense get beat for a touchdown.
And they're going to go for 2, which is I'm cool with that. You know, this is part of working your entire offense, the scheme. You want to get a look at some guys. You want to stay competitive. You know this is going to turn it, if they convert on this, it turns it into a 1-score game. You say, well, the 5th preseason game, 4th preseason game, who cares? Well, these guys care. And this is part of it, and this is part of being a competitor.
And even in this preseason game, coaches are still working on things like clock management.
Sure they are. Well, this is all part of it. And now you're working on 2-point conversion defense.
Hogan out of the shotgun. The lead is 10. And it's broken up. Jackson Porter got a hand on the pass, and the lead will remain 10 with 4:33 left to play in the ball game. So it's hard to think about November with the August heat still so high and hot upon us, but let's look to that 3rd quarter of the upcoming regular season. It starts at home against the Steelers before the bye week in Week 10, and then it's Cincinnati coming to Baltimore, and the back end of the month, the Oakland Raiders. Chucky, it'll be interesting to see what he puts together in his return season as a head coach, and then a road trip to the Atlanta Falcons, who have certainly proven that they are a quality team that might have one of, if not the most explosive passing games to stop this year.
So this is the payback for in October, where you were 3 out of the 4 on the road, which we talked about when we went through the October schedule. You get 3 out of the 4 at home. So this gives you an opportunity at a tough time in the, we used to call the dash for the cash, meaning the playoffs, that to have that many home games. Certainly it's a tough, going to Atlanta is a tough place to play against Matt Ryan and Julio Jones and that group. But to have those 3 games at home in November that should bode well for the Ravens at a very tough time in the season.
Canarian Grant will have no shot at a return as we now look at the final 4 games. As you talk about the dash to the cash, well, here's the actual sprint of that dash when the Ravens wrap up the regular season in December. That's where this franchise has been consistently excellent over the years. At home, bad weather, cold conditions, but they'll start on the road in a place that it is hard to win in the regular season. You can win in Kansas City all day in the playoffs, but in the regular season, Andy Reid's team, tough to beat in KC. Tampa Bay here at Los Angeles. You don't like a West Coast trip that late in the season, do you?
No, against what could be a pretty good football team with Phillip Rivers. You're right. Those road games, I've always said winning on the road in the NFL is one of the toughest things to do in all professional sports. Just the combination, it shouldn't be. It's not like it's arduous of the way you travel and whatever. But to finish off that way, those are going to be 2 tough road games. Tampa and Cleveland, we'll see how good Tampa's going to be. Cleveland will be as good as they're going to be. They're going to be better. But, again, and now it's more even scheduled. 2 on the home, 2 on the road. That's the way it should finish up.
And in these last 4 minutes, we'll find out which of these young players is able to crack the roster, and if not a regular roster spot, perhaps practice squad. And a timeout taken by the Ravens.
This is classic 4-minute offense. Again,
third final charge, timeout, Baltimore. 30 seconds.
Talked about they got to work their 2-point conversion defense. Well, particularly when you play great defense and you run the ball, you got to know how to close out a game. Can we, with 3 minutes and 49 seconds on the clock, without throwing a pass, pound away? You probably need at least 2 first downs, preferably 3, provided they're not on first or second down. The only time the ball is going to go in the air, maybe is on 3rd down. Classic 4-minute offense. Can we close out a game that way?
Marty Morningwig and the offense want to take a bigger role in closing out games this year, and not just rely on the defense exclusively. If your offense can put the game out of reach, that's every bit as effective as the defense shutting the door.
And with the running back core that they have, with the depth of the tight end core, because that's really what it comes down to is, what kind of profile can you put out there? How physical can you be? At that point in the 4-minute offense, there's no checking, there's no counting the box, it's just mano a mano. I don't care if it's an 8 or 9 or 10 or 11-man box. We've got to be able to run the ball, and it challenges you. And with a lot of tight ends and a change-up group of backs, now you're going to get those big backs. You're going to get a Ken Dixon in, and some of these bigger backs that we're seeing, and you're going to pound away.
Ravens looking at a 3rd down and 5. Just a little more than 3 minutes left in this game. The focus shifts to the Buffalo Bills after tonight and the start of the upcoming regular season. Woodrum on the play fake. Under pressure, his pass is deflected and knocked down incomplete. Jared Fernandez got a hand on the ball, and that will force Corey Vedvik on for one more punt try.
Well, and clearly this has been a good night for Vedvik. I mean, he's had plenty of tape for those, and there are, and when you say these discussions start tonight, we already talked about the entire league is playing tonight. The discussions, the analysis, literally starts tonight.
Right.
For a lot of teams, notwithstanding situation, the traveling, it's okay, we'll reconvene in the morning at 9. No, I guarantee you, the scouting staff, if they're not there already, we'll be heading back to the castle tonight and seeing the other games that's going on.
During the kick,
got hurt.
Holding, return team number 48, 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick, 1st down.
So as we take a look at our offensive player of the game, with the offensive play of the game for a third time this preseason. Lamar Jackson, he got his first start. He opened with a 13-play touchdown drive, and he capped it by himself with a naked bootleg, which he will be such a threat with in his career.
Right. Anytime, we talked about the progression as a quarterback and how he's got to do it from the pocket and develop a consistency, which is all true. But having said that, that running ability outside the pocket is a whole nother dimension.
He has a level of quickness that you just don't see even at this level. Under 3 minutes left to play. Patrick Ricard just missing on the sack. Hogan doesn't miss his target. He completes the ball for a 27-yard gain. Simi Cobbs on the receiving end. Patrick Ricard was so close to the sack. Says a lot about Ricard in this heat, playing just about every snap on defense, and he's still showing closing speed on a quarterback. Kind of moving along the line on the Redskins side. That'll back Washington up 5.
Now I have a technical question here. Eric Weddle, who we've seen and had a big hand in today's game plan. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Does he get that gallon of ice cream even though he didn't play and they won tonight? Is that just regular season?
Start. Offense
or is he taking us to Baskin Robbins after we're done?
First down.
A very good question. Because Eric Weddle does always eat a gallon of ice cream after a regular season win.
But with that beard, at least a quart ends up on the beard.
Yeah,
there's
sure.
no way you get that finds it.
Well, it's a flavor saver. You just save it for later. You could actually put the better part of a Thanksgiving meal in that beard and just kind of snack as you go throughout the week. Kevin Hogan under pressure, throws complete across the middle, short gain, shy of the 40-yard line, and look who pulls down the receiver, Bronson Calfusi. Part of the reason that he can get away with eating a gallon of ice cream is he is the very first guy every day at the facility.
Yeah, he works
in the weight room.
Yeah, no question about that.
And
that's a hard habit to break now. I mean, you've been playing. You can't.
Good luck with that, right?
Yeah.
Hogan's pass incomplete to the far sideline. It'll stop the clock with 2 minutes and 4 seconds left in the game. Yeah, after the playing days are done for Eric Weddle, he is going to have to modify how he celebrates things, because a gallon of ice cream, you better be a world-class athlete, because it would take that to burn it off.
Sure, he'll have to do a couple Ironmans, and he'd be certainly capable to it, because you're not going to burn it off on the golf course, I promise you that.
No, you are not. Final play before the 2-minute warning. Wake Martindale bringing the blitz, and Hogan's pass is caught across midfield, over the shoulder grab by Darvin Kinsey, pushed out of bounds by Anthony Averett, a 17-yard gain. 2 minutes left in the preseason on the Ravens Game Day Network. Final minute 57 left in preseason for John Harbaugh, his coaches, and Ozzie Newsome. Now comes the time to build that final 53-man roster. All of the work from draft day forward has led to this moment over the next couple of days. And for players who have carried a lifetime dream of being on that 53-man roster, time is starting to run out. But guys like Kai Nakua, if they don't make the 53-man roster, perhaps a spot on the practice squad, they at least don't have to look back and say, I missed my shot, I didn't give it my best. Kai Nakua had one of the best picks we've ever seen.
Yeah. And just the way his teammates reacted to it, that's something you're going to remember for a long time.
Kevin Hogan will run the string here at quarterback for the Redskins. And he's going deep to the far sideline, and it's off the mark. Good coverage on the play by Darius Williams. One of those rookie free agents, probably outside the bubble, but taking every play and every top opportunity he can. For some of these players, the fact of the matter is this is the last time they will ever play football. For most, they haven't even thought of that.
And like you said earlier, these are guys, for the most part, that have been the best player on a lot of the teams most every team they've been on, to a certain degree. This is part of life's adjustments. But they will remember their experience here through this summer for the rest of their lives, if indeed it turns out that way.
The screen pass. And then about 5 yards. Run the clock down to sub 140. Zach Sealer, 7th round draft pick, hit on the stop. John Harbaugh says he is the strongest member of the Ravens team. Said he's a freak in the weight room. He can lift more than anybody else on the team.
And at the minimum, the practice squad, you'd just be worried about, can this guy clear waivers to get to the practice squad?
There'll be a false start on the Redskins. The right tackle jumped the gun.
And that's always the dangerous game. One of the conversations they'll have tomorrow. And this is where the scouts and Ozzie have to chip in. It's, well, can we slip this guy through? Do you think the league would notice? Can we get him on our practice squad? I know it was always a very nervous time when you had a couple players, not the least of which like this Sealer, that, boy, you really like this guy and we don't want to lose him, but our numbers are such we got to take a shot.
False start. Offense number 61. The foul occurred under 2 minutes while the clock was running. By rule, this requires a 10-second runoff. Game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 1:09.
Which was harder?
Clock will start on the ready.
Back in the days when you would gradually cut the roster down from 90 to 75 and then to 53, which was harder to get a guy through waivers, when you did it piecemeal or now when you go from 90 to 53 overnight?
Well, that was part of the fact, because you remember there was one in between. Another sack.
The sack coming from a linebacker, the 4th for the Ravens tonight.
And you're testing
Miles Humphrey.
You're testing me here, but we had the 83-man roster, and then we went down to 75, and there were some of the thought as, you know what, we really like this kid, let's cut him early, and that way he doesn't get as much attention, knowing that we could bring him back later on, thinking he is at a practice squad. Now, it very rarely worked out that way, and sometimes it was too early, but it's a nervous time. It is when you've got a really good player and you're watching. It's a 24-hour period, isn't it, for the waiver wire, to see if a guy's going to clear waivers.
Hogan's pass incomplete. Robertson Daniel making the pick, but out of bounds. And there he is, Patrick Ricard. He'll get a merciful breather, comes to the sideline. They won't put him on the punt return.
Yeah, get him
team.
back out there on punt return.
He can they turn it over on down, so he actually
what
could go out
the
at fullback.
heck's going on here? Is this guy a player or not?
He played just about every snap that we saw on defense, and not many on offense, but he certainly did, as Josh Woodrum will line up in victory formation. Before we go, I want to thank our director, Dan Regan, our producer, Andy Bach, our executive producer, Matt Brevitt, and Ravens Vice President of Broadcast, Jay O'Brien, for their amazing work this summer. It goes down as the Ravens' 5th win of preseason, 30-20 over the Washington Redskins. John Harbaugh and his coaches now point to Buffalo a week from Sunday here at M&T Bank Stadium. The postgame is coming your way next as we turn our attention to the upcoming regular season. A Ravens win to wrap it up in preseason.